All right, we're live. It's Larry Shiller, voice of Backgammon, broadcasting the finals of 2018 Sochi finals. Mochi versus Askurava from Russia. Mochi from Japan. Askurava from Russia. And we're about to begin. We're using. We're here at the casino. I'm not here, actually. I'm broadcasting remotely, but it's the Casino Sochi. And we've got Mochi on the bottom. He's already seated. And there's, we've got, so Ben, we've got the names reversed. Looks like Mochi's on the bottom. All right. Or you can move the cameras. You know, I did this once with Steve Saxon and to be unnamed opponent. And can we get that camera on Alexey's face more, a little bit?
Oh, no, Mochi's on top.
So you're seeing the live setup here before we go live with the tournament. Players are patiently waiting for us.
No, I sleep only 2 hours. Maybe it's up to you. Make something.
It's up to you. If you want from the beginning, if you tell him from the beginning to warn you, you can. But normally he won't. How do you prefer?
No, it's up to you.
The priority is he will not warn. But if you go there,
I can make it. I just ask him to look.
Legal play?
Huh?
Only legal play.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Give us a moment, folks, while we get this.
You don't need to. You can because you can miss too. The robot. But if you see a mistake,
Last minute preparations here.
Only legal play.
How about this?
it's up to your decision. You don't have to use it.
I don't like this.
Okay, but he can use it if he wants.
The gentlemen are negotiating. Looks like something above the board.
Okay.
But because in Moscow we didn't play this stuff. We only with Moscow. 5 years I
In Russian community, they don't even use shakers anymore. Everybody rolls with this. So here in this tournament, we gave them the right to use it for
It's not
themselves.
problem. It's not problem.
They cannot force you, but
Here we
My only
go.
reason is if we both use the buffer box, then that's always.
So they're talking about the baffle box now. You can actually hear them as they're speaking.
On low, you know what I mean?
But we play it close.
But you
Ben, awesome. Ben Friesen, thank you. Shout out to Ben Friesen, our voice of Backgammon rep in Sochi. Really appreciate your hard work, Ben, getting the power set up and getting this this nice layout for us here. Appreciate it. And you're in the last chance, aren't you? Yay! So good luck to Ben. Good dice, and we hope to hear that you're a winner of that as well.
Me too.
My pleasure.
Sounds good. All right, good luck, Ben, and we hope you'll be able to check back with us. If in the unfortunate event you do not win, that you might be able to do some commentary and XG analysis.
Give me a second, Larry.
I hope that. And you can ask for me anytime you want. Just tell him, and I will be here with you in a minute.
And we're hearing Arda in the background saying, "You can ask for me anytime you want."
Let's shake hands. What if you want? No, you stay there.
And we're getting the
Shake hands, yeah?
post out. They're shaking hands. We're getting ready to start.
Okay, I am back. These guys are tired.
All right, there's Ben in the background.
Something else later, but I tell you, Mochi has been playing very well multiple
I have
times,
also Japanese.
and Alexey as well. He's a top Russian player.
Two Japanese.
So this ends up being a great match.
Askurava,
This is going to be a great match. Ben, do you have any background on Alexey Askurava?
I don't. I just met him here. Arda told me though that he is a top Russian player.
in Georgia, they have.
I do expect a great match here, and
Okay, man, let's go.
I expect Mochi to do his usual, which is try to get Alexey into time trouble by being very deliberate with his own
Maybe
wins. He's been very good at that the whole tournament. Most of his opponents have been in time trouble.
Ah.
But that's all the insight I really have.
Okay, well that's good. That's a good baseline for us. We've got a match to 17, and I'm going to see if I can possibly set up the board. But they're starting out, and we have an opening roll, and Mochi draws first blood or first point with a 5-3, and we're off at the finals from Sochi. Then Alexey comes back with a 6-5, so he's doing the race. Mochi's trying to contain. He rolls a 5-3. He's going to play the 3-up in the home board and try to protect the outfield here, get as much coverage as possible. Alexey has a nice 4-2 double fours roll, makes 2 points in his home board. Doesn't even think twice about it. Didn't even think about running the checker. He plays fast. I have not seen Alexey play before, but he is playing fast, and we'll see if he plays loose. So there he comes. He's got a 3-1, and he's just making his 5-point. No way to think about this. Mochi wants to make a couple of points in his home board, get even. 5-4 will do it. Can't run the back checkers, so they both are building their home boards, similar game plan, and Alexey's got an advantage, though, because he only has 1 checker in Mochi's home board. All right, Mochi looking to get 6-4. Oh, and all right, so at this tournament, if you roll the dice on top of the checkers, it doesn't count. Now, sometimes at some tournaments, it does, and the United States Backgammon Federation says, it's really up to the director, but the rules do say dice on checkers count unless they're cocked. All right, Mochi's thinking about this 6-3. You know how fast the play was? Boom, 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 boom. And now it's slowed down. Mochi's taking his time to think about what he wants to do. Does he want to run, or does he want to maybe slot his own bar, come out to the opponent's bar? Is he going to run a checker all the way? The considerations that he's probably thinking about right now is, one, if he does run his back checker, how dangerous is that? Would he take a double? Could he get gammoned? Because Alexey has a better board. He's got 4 points in his home board on the bottom left. Alexey is white, and Mochi, who's black, has only 3 points in his home board. But Mochi has 10 men in the zone. So what we mean by that, but he is going to run the checker, it looks like, all the way, and he makes that decision. And if Mochi's making, it's probably right. And a 5-4 is not able to hit. So now Alexey has a decision, and for the first time in the match, Alexey is going to take his time, not that much time, looking at his play. He decides to move up. Mochi is going to probably want to attack if he can, and he can't. So he's got a simple 5-2 play, which is to move the checker from the opponent's 9-point to his own 7-point. He does that. Double fives! What a great roll! This is ball game over. And it's an interesting play by Alexey. In other words, he's giving Mochi a 6-3 shot. Not clear why he would want to do that. Because he's going to double after this, and Mochi's probably going to drop. So I'm confused why Alexey would offer up that shot anyway. Just run the checker around 20 to his 5-point, play safe 13-8, and turn the cube, and you're done. So, but maybe it's not an obvious double here. We want to look at the pip count, certainly, and see what that difference is. No question. Let's take a look here. He is turning the cube. So Mochi has... Alexey has turned the cube. Mochi's now considering what he's going to do. And he is going to drop the double. And that puts Alexey with first blood. 1-0 in this match to 17. Alexey Askurava from Russia has taken a 1-0 lead over Masayuki Mochizuki from Japan. And now we have an opening, looked like a 6-1, but it's apparently a 6-2 for Mochi. Double ones. What a nice comeback for Alexey. Does get hit. So 3-1, play 6-5 or 3-4, 22-21. That's the real question here. He has some other options actually. He could fan out a little bit. He could play. He could also break the 2-man off the 1 point because he has a better board. He didn't. I don't know if he looked at that. 4-1 makes the bar. But also safety's up a checker, but he's gonna risk it because he traps those 2 checkers in on the 1 point. Double 4s, boy, Alexey's this is his second doubles this game. Tough to play, not that tough to play. Probably he's gonna move 2 men up and bring 2 men down. Seems like a pretty straightforward play. I'm not sure what he's thinking about. He's been playing really fast the whole time, but seems like pretty much of a no-brainer to bring 2 men down, unstack the midpoint. All right, and he's making that his play. Okay, so 3-2. Cannot move those back checkers, so Alexey's kind of stuck back there. Mochi's looking to, I don't know, it looks like it might be a 2-1. I'm not, no, I can't be, because the 2-1 I think would be pretty clear what he's going to do. Is it a 2-3? That would not be as obvious. No, it is a 2-1. Oh, it's a 4-2. Aha, okay. So he opts to make the point, and Alexey comes in with a 3-6, can't hit anything. Mochi's got a lot of shots here. He almost, maybe, possibly, well, he didn't have a cube. He would have had a cube if Alexey had a single checker on his 5-point, because there were a lot of gammon chances there. Now here's a 5-1. Alexey would have loved to have made his prime, but this is a good opportunity to, hit in his home board. He wants to. He's behind in the race, white, and so the natural play is to move 2 men off the 9-point. Just make the 8-point and then hit. When you have 1 checker back, if you're a beginner player and your opponent has 1. If you have 1 checker back, you want to escape it, right? So, and Mochi comes in and hits with a 3-1, by the way, 4-3. Pretty straightforward. He could hit with a 4. This is interesting, I think it's probably not right to break up the 4-point prime to hit with a 4. But what I was saying before is when your opponent has 1 checker back, oh, what an interesting play. Odd. I don't think that could be right. I don't know. Oh, he's got a 4 to play. I see. Wow, I'm surprised because he would have duplicated 4s by hitting on the 4-point. I'm pretty confident it was right to hit there, actually. I misread the play. So 3-4. All right, well, he did get hit with a 4 anyway. Didn't matter, and now he's got that checker stuck on his 2-point, and he's not able to do anything with it. Anyway, so when you have 1 checker back, you generally want to hit. Now, that's not what Alexey did, and he's a world-class player, so I could be wrong. If that was maybe that wasn't the right play. But here's a 6-4 for Mochi. He's able to come out with a 6. He'll probably continue on with a 4 because the only way Alexey's going to hit this is with a 6-6. And if he rolls a 6, he's got to, expose his own blot on the 5-point. And he's got a blot in his home board. So Mochi rolls a 2 or anything else. 3-6 is good. He's able to get out. This is really Mochi's game. Mochi is in huge good shape here. That's a nice roll for Alexey. 6-5, hitting from the 5-point, and Mochi stays out with double 6s. This game is turned around. A 4 is going to give a 4-point prime, and a 1 is easy, 7-6. So Alexey needs 2s and 6s, and if he doesn't roll it, it's not the end of the world. Mochi 2-1. He's debating. He can hit 2 checkers. I don't know how that could be wrong. It's a great roll. He comes in on the 2 when he hits, and now. It makes perfect sense to hit over there because now there's a lot of rolls for Alexey. Any doubles is going to start breaking his board. And he rolled double 1s. Not a good roll for him, strangely enough. Oh, is it 1 or 2-1? Sorry. No, double 1s. And yeah, so Mochi's got to get his checker out, and he did it. Just one roll, 2-6, boom, end of story. Fantastic. Alexey's in trouble. It may be too good for Mochi to double right here. It's probably a double drop. But, Mochi's thinking about, is he too good? He decides, no, I'll take the point. Alexey would be hard pressed to take this double. First off, Mochi rolls a 1. There you go. He's got 4 men back there. But, this is kind of a prime versus prime situation. And oftentimes the probabilities are a lot better than you think. And in fact, Alexey says, you know what, I'm going to take this. And now he's got a decision. Does he hit with that? I think you got to hit with a 1. And then the 6, maybe you play, just get another builder on your 8 point. So that makes sense, because now if Alexey cannot get his checkers out of Mochi's board, if he's blocked back there, he's going to have to start moving those checkers in and will eventually crash his board. I mean, that's the idea. So here, it's natural for Mochi just to block on the 9 point, make the 9 point. And if you're a beginner player, what you're looking for when you have rolls like this, like 4-3, is the difference between the dice. There's 1, right? 4 minus 3 is 1. So if you have 2 checkers that are next to each other, in other words, 1 triangle apart, if you move them, they will result in them landing up on the same triangle. So that's a little neat trick that some players use. That was just interesting in the 5-2. He could have made his 4 point, and he chose not to do that. It looks like a 4-2. So Mochi's way ahead in the race, so he's safetying up his checkers. Wants to bear in. And now Alexey's building his home board. I don't know why I didn't keep his checker on the 5 point, actually. It's interesting. But Mochi rolls a 4-3, and this is uncomfortable. He's just not rolling. I would think he's going to break off the 8 point, but he doesn't. He's leaving the extra builder in place. I like breaking off the 8 because then you can clear that point. But he decided not to do that. Alexey's maintaining the 5.5 point prime. And notice how he's got a 5 point prime, which means he has 5 checkers in a row. And with 5 triangles with two checkers or more on each triangle in a row. And he's slotting, in other words, putting a single checker on the triangle behind the prime, which is a great way to build a 6 point prime. So if he rolls a 2-3 or something, he's gonna fill that. Double 6s. Ooh! Well, that takes away a lot of gammon chances for Mochi here. Mochi now is worried about clearing. He wants to be able to clear. Double 4s. That's going away towards doing that. But it hastens. It speeds up the opportunity for Mochi to leave a shot. So from that standpoint, I don't think he's too happy with double 4s. I don't think it's going to help him that much with his gammon chances. All right, 5-3. So there's no way for him to actually slot that point. What Alexey wants to do is to put a checker on the 3 point. He wants to put 2 checkers on that 3 point. But he also wants to avoid the gammon. But I don't think he's really got to worry about that too much. He really wants to maximize the builders. That roll, I don't know if that roll actually maximized the builders. Mochi rolls what does he roll? A 6-4, and he's got to leave a shot. And look at this, Alexey. Mochi has just not made a roll Mochi's not made a roll that's just made it easy for him to come in. Everything has been painful. And look at this, Alexey hits. And it's so fascinating to watch the expressions on these players' faces. Like, Mochi didn't bat an eyebrow. It's just this is just part of the game. And also part of the game is he rolls a 3-5. And now, he needs 9s, 10s, or 1s to be able to hit. And he rolls a 7. He can't hit that checker. So, probably best to play 2 checkers in. Maybe even probably 2 checkers in. So he doesn't leave the 1 shot. But he's going to block double 1s. He's looking to block double 1s, and that, why not? It's another 2.7% chance. Maybe he'll roll it. And he rolls a 4-3. And so what is the right play for Mochi in this situation? Do you leave him 2s and 3s, which is probability 21-36 to hit, which means he's pretty much home free with probability 21-36, or but still it makes Alexey a favorite to win, because if he does hit, He's in pretty good shape. So Mochi's just thinking about, whether or not to move both checkers off the 6-point. But he decides, no, he's not going to leave all those shots. And he rolls double twos. What a great roll. It's going to, look at that. And he doesn't even leave him the 1-6 shot, which is a little interesting. I would have left the 1-6 by playing 9-7. But this looks like a pretty clear double drop here. Going to be tough for Mochi to take this. And there is some gammon chance, though. So the only question for Alexey, is he too good to double in this situation? So what that means, he decides he's too good, and he rolls a 6-2. What a joker roll. He makes the bar. Now he's built a 6-point prime. Mochi doesn't want to roll a 1. He just wants to stay out now and just avoid the gammon. This is really a turn of events in this game. Unbelievable. Mochi staying out happily off of this board, comes in, because if he comes in, Alexey's going to hit him loose, and then if Mochi rolls a 1, Alexey will be in the bar and can roll a 1. He still doesn't double. Maybe he doesn't think he's good enough. I don't understand that. He must think he's too good. I don't know what he's thinking. Anyway, Mochi rolls a 1-4. Now this is the terrible roll for him. Alexey does not want to roll a 6. And if he rolls a 6, the question is, does he hit loose or does he close him out? Because, this is tough. Why is he thinking about doubling? Maybe he thought, I don't get it. I guess now is the time to say, okay, but you might as well play for the gammon. You have very little to lose here. You are such a favorite. He's turning it. Mochi's going to drop this in a heartbeat. He's going to take his time and think about it, I guess. No, he's not. Okay, so that ends that game, and Alexey is up 3-0. Boy, this is really a tough match for Mochi. Alexey, he's just not been able to smoothly bear in and get his checkers to safety, while Alexey, given an opportunity, to his credit, he's taken it. So we're Alexey up 3-0 in a match to 17. And now we've got a 5-3. And so Mochi plays that the recommended way, followed by a 2-1. And he's also making that typical play, protecting both sides of it. Comes back with a 5-1. And he also splits his backmen. And then there's a 3-1, and he plays it the standard way. So we've got pretty much a, similar kind of game. Is that a double 1? Looks like it. So nice roll for Mochi. And then is he going to make the bar point, or is he going to come up to the, or is he going to hit? He might hit. That's good because he gains a nice tempo for Mochi and can try to pick up that checker sitting loose in the outfield on the 11 point. So Mochi's looking at it. He hasn't decided that's what he wants to do. And I'm able to look here and now see what the right play is. And it is, it's pretty close. It's actually just about the same to go 8-6. Oh, he's looking at this play. So this play is a slight. Well, let's go with XX. Actually, I don't know if I should be broadcasting this live because I don't know if these guys are able to hear the commentary. But I have XG up and running simultaneously as I'm doing the commentary and doing the quick analysis to see what the right play is on double ones. But the important thing here is that Mochi's taking his time. And when you have doubles, you have so many more choices, more than double. Sometimes more than 4 times as many possibilities. And Mochi's really taking his time to think about how he wants to play this. And it's not easy to make this decision. This is a non-trivial decision here, but it turns out, according to XG at any rate, Mochi's about a 53% favorite. And he is slightly, he's got more gammons if he hits on the 2 point. And more wins if he makes his play or just moves a checker from the 8 point to right, to the 6 point. So we're going to see. Oh, and now he's looking at this. Now this is a huge blunder. Any 6, he might consider it, but 6 4s, are duplicated anyway. But any 6 will hit and leaves him a lot of good numbers. And Mochi's deciding to make the correct recommended play. And he comes back with double ones himself, not to be denied. And Mochi comes back with 5-1. And again, he's taking his time to think about how he's going to make this play. So he's got some interesting choices. And, the modern game, he might be thinking about, I don't know what he's thinking about. Making the 2 point seems like, well, let's see what the recommended play is here. But making the 2 point is going to really minimize the gammons for Mochi. Analysis has shown that if you're on the 2 point, it's like 8 to 12%, somewhere around there, of getting gammoned, while it's significantly higher, like 15% or so, 16% if you're on the 1 point. I don't have those exact percentages, they're approximate. But the other thing is Mochi wants to get his checkers out of there, and he's only got 9 men. Alexey, 9 men in the zone. Now he's got 10 men in the zone, and he's trying to block Mochi. So let's see what happens with this play. And now he rolls a 4-3. And looks like he's going to come down with a 4. No question, right? And now he's got a question what to do with the 3. He's obviously debating about coming up to the edge of Alexey's prime, or moving to his 6 point. And he moves to his 6 point, which is the right play. And there's a 6-3 for Alexey, and he just simply runs a checker all the way out. And now Mochi rolls double 6s, and he's going to move his back checker to hit, and he's got 2 more to go, and he's just going to simply, prime him in. Pretty simple. Mochi did not take his time on that. Wasn't a lot to see. He's got probably a pretty good double here. So we'll see what he does. So Mochi's behind 3-0. It looks like he's not doubling. He thinks he's too good. So he rolled a 1, 2, apparently. And so he's coming up with a 2, evening out his checkers with a 1. 5-3 for Alexey. And he is making the point, putting Mochi on the bar. Mochi comes in with a 5-2. He plays the 2, and now he's going to bring his 5 into safety. He's got Murderer's Row lined up there. It's a 3-1 for Alexey. The 3 is easy, and he brings another one down. Maybe he can go ahead and build a 5-point prime from the back. This is another prime versus prime situation. Credit to Alexey for taking the double last game. Now Mochi's got a choice. He can build a pretty solid 5-point prime, broken 5-point prime here, or he can run his checker out and basically duplicate 3s. If he doesn't roll a 2, 3, or 4, he's in good shape. So this seems like the right play, and I didn't check with XG. We'll find out later. There's a 6-2 for Alexey. So he cannot hit. Mochi gets away with it. And now Mochi, has an easy double. He's just, is he too good for this? And he's deciding that he's just deciding. Let's see what the recommended play is. This is a double pass. So he's quite just a little bit shy of being too good for this. But he rolls the 1-2. He's lost his market, that's for sure. So he just moves his checker down. And a 5-3 for Alexey. He comes in and slots a checker. Mochi with a 6-4. Has some choices now. At some point, he's going to want to hit. And hitting here may not be bad, but he's not taking any chances. He doesn't want to lose this game, get stuck behind his prime. Oh, it would have been a nice play. Would have bounced. He's taking this opportunity to make his board, and he's got a nice looking board. And now Mochi doubles. Excellent double, and it's a pass. And that was the right play, double and a pass. And these guys are really playing at a very high level here. This game, Alexey was perfect. Mochi had this one opportunity to double, but all right, well, we're starting off here with a 4-1. All right, I think I'm missing. Let's see what we got here. Must have had a 4-2. All right, I missed the XG thing on this. I apologize. All right, we've got now Alexey's in a running game, and Mochi says, "Well, I can run too. I'm going to roll double sixes," but a lot of his checkers are trapped, so seems probably right to get the checker off the 5-point and then play 2 men down to the midpoint. On the other hand, he could leave that checker there because it gives him better coverage, and it's going to be really hard for Alexey not to leave a shot. So Mochi opts to leave the checker on the 5-point, bring 2 men down to his 2-point. In case he leaves a shot, he's ready to hit. Now he's taking a look at moving that checker off the 5-point. He says, yeah, that's got to be the right play, despite the coverage. And Alexey makes, there weren't a lot of numbers, maybe 12 numbers that got him out of trouble, and he rolled one of them. So didn't leave a shot. Looks like a 6-3. Yeah, it is. And so Mochi takes this opportunity to build a point in his home board. Double sixes, what a great roll. You just hit 2 checkers in Mochi's home board. I mean, that's it. What else are you going to do? You could bring 4 men down, 2 off the 3rd midpoint, 2 off the 14 point, and Alexey's taking a picture. Let's see if I can set up a... All right, now he's making his decision quickly, and he's just looking at that. Let me see if I can transcribe this position and quickly while these guys are. Let's see if I can do that. Let's start a new game, set up a position. All right, let's see what we can do here. So he's rethinking it. Now he's looking at hitting 2. I can't imagine that's wrong, but he's looking at both. And he decides to make the play, bringing all 4 down. It's still a pretty tough take for Mochi. He's got to find a way to play this so he can take it. Maybe move the 2 up and 8-3. Or he could just move the guy all the way out. And he moves him all the way out. That actually does make a lot of sense. But here he's got to decide what's he going to do. How many anti-jokers? So here, if you're Alexey, what are you thinking about here? First of all, you're way ahead in the race. You've got a huge race advantage here, and so the question is, what are your bad rolls that are going to lose you this nice advantage you have in this game? That's really an important question you want to ask yourself. And I'm going to try to transcribe this in here and see if we can get a probability of doubling or not. And let's just take a look and see. Now he's up. I'm not taking into account the score, but it looks like it is a double, and it's a take for Mochi. Mochi's thinking back this carefully. It's very, very close to a pass. Would have been a huge blunder not to double. But I think at this score, it gives Mochi a little bit more advantage, opportunity to take it. And let's just see if we can get the game score here in match play. So we've got a match. So it's basically, well, we'll just put the actual score in. See how it affects the probability. Now I think it's going to be a clear take. It's a clearer take. It's not really, the score doesn't actually make that much of a difference here. It's very, very close. Mochi is really smart to take the time to analyze this position. He is such a great student of the game. And actually with XG now doing plus calls this a pass. This is actually a pass for Mochi. It's .005, so it's not a huge blunder either way to take this. And but Alexey, assuming Alexey plays perfectly, then it's a pass. If Alexey makes any mistakes, plays .005 worse than Mochi, it's actually a take. And that is part of the equation. And you can be sure Mochi is thinking about, as the #1 player in the world, Super Grandmaster, the only Super Grandmaster level. And by the way, that's a designation by the Backgammon Masters awarding body. Which has a brand new CEO. Mochi does take the double, and can't blame him for that. This is a great roll for Mochi. He gets a shot, justifies the double, and he hits it. He rolls a 1-2, and he's probably going to come up with a 2 because that's going to duplicate his at least 4s and 2s and 3s. Doesn't leave him any good big numbers. On the other hand, what's he going to do? What is Alexey going to do if he rolls a 1-6 or a 2-6 from the bar, or a 3-4 from the bar? So there's a lot of bad numbers for Alexey that Mochi would not be able to take advantage of. On the other hand, Mochi is a slightly better board, and so wherever Alexey comes in, he's going to hit. And so Mochi does decide to come up and eventually realize this is going to be a race. And there's a 1-3. He's just going to play safe. Mochi's going to attack that checker relentlessly. Any 2s or 4s, maybe even a 3, that checker is dead. But he rolls a 6-1. Well, it does play. And Mochi's back in this game. Might even be a slight favorite. 6-3 for Alexey. And he's able to pull his checker out from the 6, but there's not much else he could do. So he's now going to slot 2 blots in his whole board, hoping he doesn't get pointed. But this just gives Mochi more incentive to pounce on Alexey on the 4-point. So that blot's going to be history. And there's, double 1s. How interesting. Yeah. Woo. This is interesting. What to do here? You want to make the 5-point. You could also just hit and go down to the 3-point. You could even hit and leave a blot. You don't mind getting hit so much because, Alexey's got 2 blots in his home board. I mean, how could this be wrong? You have a broken 5-point prime. It's going to be, Alexey needs an 8, and it's only got to be a 5-3-6-2. Double 6s doesn't work for him. Anything else is going to leave a shot. That may be towards the right play here. This is really interesting to see. And Mochi does actually just opt for safety. And there's double 5s, and Alexey doesn't even hesitate. He just drops the checker on his 5-point. Very good roll for him. Mochi is, it's a very, very, it's not that close. He's pretty far behind in the race here. Alexey's just has to clear his checkers, brings in the 6. He doesn't slot the 4-point, surprising. I'm surprised he didn't slot the 4-point, get a checker off the stack. When you're bearing in, there is a right and a wrong strategy for doing that. And the right strategy is to put checkers on the 6, 5, and 4 points, not elsewhere. This is a questionable double 3s by Alexey. I don't know if that's right. You want to bring 2 down, and I think you can bring 6-3 and 7-4 because you bring an extra checker and you'll bear off sooner. If you roll some couple of high numbers, you're going to have some significant wastage for Alexey. So anyway, we're talking about strategies. And if you're a beginner player, how do you know how to bring your checkers into your home board? Does it really matter? And you know, it really does. Like most things with backgammon, it really does matter. So where he brings it in matters, because if you bring your checkers in too low, in other words, on the 1, 2, or 3 point, then eventually, when you roll a 6, you're taking a checker off the 3 point, and when you do that, you've just wasted 3 pips. Like if you have a checker on the 2 point and you roll a 5 and you take that checker off the 2 point with a 5, you've wasted 3 pips. And that wastage ends up being very important because you're not getting the full value of your roll. And that's what you want to do when you bear off. So if you bear in off into the 6, 5, and 4 points, you're getting the full value of your roll. You roll a 6, you're taking off a 6. You roll a 5, you're taking a checker off the 5 point. And if you roll a 3, all right, you can't take a checker off, but you can play 6 to 3. And then if you roll a 3 next time, you could take them off. So that's the recommended play, and the bots have shown that to be the right thing to do. Mochi's in trouble here. Mochi not having decent rolls. He's got to decide what to do for the 3. You know, he might have played 10 to 7 just so your 1s play for you. Now, with Alexey, he has a wastage point on the 4 point. That's considered bad to have a hole. He's got a hole, I should say, as opposed to a wastage point. If he rolls 4s, he's going to have to move a checker down. Now, he solved that problem by rolling double 3s. So he took 2 checkers off and put them down on his 4 point. Meanwhile, Mochi, not rolling well. He's not in danger of getting gammoned, but, you know, he's way behind in this race. And with the cube, holding the cube at 2, that double 5s by Alexey really turned this game around. And you know, if this continues, it's going to be, you know, ball game over. But this match has a long way to go. Assuming Mochi loses this game, he's down 5-1 in the match to 17, and it's not the end of the world. Now, Mochi could be down 16-1 and still have a decent chance to win. Decent meaning greater than 0. And a lot greater than 0 than the rest of us. That's for sure. All right, so this is all over, but the shouting, this is extremely unlikely. But you're going to see here, if Alexey rolls 3s or 4s, he can't take a checker off, and he's going to have to move a checker down. So let's see what happens. Now, but he's not doing that. He's rolling 6 5s. So there you go. 6-4 for Mochi. You know, Mochi still has a chance to win this game. He still has a chance to win this game. Amazingly. 6-1. And what do you do with this 1? This is tricky. He needs doubles. He knows that. So he's tempted to play 6 to 5. Most everybody else will play 5-4. But he plays 3 to 2. Fascinating. No idea. I have no idea what he's thinking about. Now here's the wastage thing, right? 4-1. Man, I heard Alexey. Mochi really needs 2 sets of doubles here. And he doesn't do it. 4-2. So now Alexey has to roll a 1 twice in a row. He's got to miss twice. Actually, it's worse than that. And it's now ball game over. Mochi concedes the game, and now it's 5-1. If we look at an XG, let's just take a look at the match equity table. So the match equity tables tell you what the probability of winning the match at a particular match score. So this match score is 5-1. They're going to update that in a moment. There we go. 5-1. And that means that, obviously, Alexey's ahead. He's got a better chance to win. So exactly how much of a better chance does he have to win? So the way that players calculate this as they get started on the next game is by looking at how far away you are. So it's a match to 17. So Alexey, who has 5 points, is 12 points away from winning the match, while Mochi is 16 points away from winning the match. And that's how backgammon players think. They don't think of, oh, it's 17, I got 1. It's 17, I got 5. They think, oh, whatever the winning point total is, in this case 17, they don't care. They just say, I'm 16 away, my opponent's 12 away. And so when you do that, you can then look at a table that says, oh, well, if one player is 16 away and the other player is 12 away, the percentage of winning the match is about a third. And so Mochi only has a 1/3 chance to win this match at this score, 16 away, 12 away. Well, Alexey has a 2/3 chance, slightly under 2/3 chance to win this match. This is going to significantly affect the decisions about how these players actually play the checkers and handle the cube. Interesting, right? In other words, Mochi, if he is going to drop a double, let's say, that would put him 16 away, 11 away, and he's going to know that means that he's only going to win the match 30% of the time. So he's going to be more likely to take the double when it's turned, because he wants to catch up. And Alexey, conversely, is in certain circumstances is going to be less likely to turn it as soon as he would like. He'll wait longer. But here's an interesting thing about that. The only time for Alexey to wait and turn the cube is at special scores, like 4 away or less. But at scores like this, he generally will turn the cube unless the position is really volatile, where a couple of great rolls by Mochi could turn the game around, and then Alexey sees the cube coming back at 4, and where he could get possibly gammon and lose an 8-point. So you'll see Alexey not change his cube behavior at all if there's very little chance, like say under 5% of a gammon. And Mochi's decision will be based simply on the match equity. What's the probability of winning the game versus the probability of winning the match if he wins or loses, and he'll do that math. All right, so here we are. We're back to this game. Alexey has rolled double 6s, which is a great roll, but he's going to have to leave a direct shot no matter how he plays this. So the question is, where does he leave that direct shot, and does he? And I think it's actually probably pretty clear that you want to cover the 2-point with both checkers and hit on the 3-point. Now, but that's clear to me. May not be clear to anybody else in this game. I don't like this play because why don't I like this play? First he can, if 6-2 is really a joker, he leaves him that. He leaves him 1/7, but the probability is 0. He's going to roll that. Yeah, he's looking at this. I know it's ugly to place 3 checkers on the 2-point. But if he doesn't roll, I mean, you're minimizing the chances to get hit. You're leaving him 2-4, 1-5, and any 6. So you're giving him 15 numbers to hit. The other way, you leave him only 11 numbers. All right. Well, either way, he wouldn't have gotten hit. Yeah, no, he would have hit this way. How about and covered? So this would have been a great roll for Mochi if Alexey did my play. So I'm sure he's pretty happy he didn't. Now he's got thinking about doubling. And the question is, is this a volatile situation? He's taking a picture of this situation. Let's see here if we can figure out what the match equity is, how much time he's going to take figuring this out. And maybe I have time to put it in the position. What am I missing here? And this is smart on Alexey's part. Take your time in important parts of the game to make the right decision. You don't want to blunder these types of positions. And this is where the blunders come in. Doubles. Most players have much better checker play than they do doubling play. And with a cube. So we're going to take a look here and see what the right play is. Should it have been a double? I'd be tempted to double here, but he rolled double 5s. Look at that. Oh, well, this looks pretty simple. Safety up the other checker. It was a double take? It was a double take. Not a huge blunder, 0.054 not to double. Mochi comes in with a 4-3. He had 5-4 to hit, which was a nice duplication, by the way, for Alexey. Now he's thinking about doubling. And let's see here if this is too good. It probably isn't too good. It's probably a good though because he has gammon chances and reasonable shot to gammon. Mochi probably, I'm guessing 16, 18%. Let's find out. Let's see what XG thinks about this. Let's get our checkers lined up here. And he is turning the cube, and Mochi's going to be thinking long and hard about this one, about what he's going to do here. We're bringing XG up. We're going to see what the right decision is at this match score. Mochi doesn't have a great shot to gammon Alexey, but he's got a reasonable shot to be gammoned himself. And it is actually a 21% gammon shot for Alexey here. It's a few percentage points more than what I thought. And, well, let's look at his numbers. Any combination of 2 3s and 5s, that's 8 numbers, because double 5s doesn't work. Double 6s, gives him better gammon chance. So that's 9 numbers. That makes it a good double by O'Hagan's law, which I'll talk more about. And John O'Hagan was fortunate to have them doing expert commentary. I do the color, he does the expert stuff, and we were in Las Vegas together. John's fantastic, so generous of his time to this game. Mochi drops. He knows he can't take. This would be a huge blunder to take. It'd be a 0.45 blunder. Mochi basically give up almost half a game of equity if he were to take this double. And he's going to take a break. So we are now on break. As Mochi says, let me get my luck mojo back. Mochi is the one player in the world who, maybe doesn't need luck, but everybody needs luck in this game. It's the beauty of this game. Anybody could be playing. The longer the tournament, obviously the better the players are going to be in the finals. And we have 2 world-class players here in the finals. This is Larry Shiller, live, voice of Backgammon. Broadcasting remotely. We've got a feed set up. Here's how this works. This tournament's being held at the Casino Sochi in Sochi, Russia, and it's a great tournament. Patty Rubin, Arda Findigoglu, and if I'm pronouncing that right, Arda, forgive me if I don't pronounce your last. I need Turkish lessons, so next time we're in North Cyprus or Turkey together, maybe we can. I'll buy you lunch and you can teach me Turkish. And so, this tournament has a lot of added money. I think the most in the world. And you got to credit Patty Rubin for her organizing and making this tournament work. I mean, it is a great event. I wish I could have been there in person. I was not able to make this particular tournament. The good news is I'm leaving for Tokyo on Tuesday to join Mochi in Tokyo for the Tokyo Championships, and so we'll be there. And then I'll also be going as voice of Backgammon to the Cherry Blossom Festival in Dulles, Virginia, in the USA, following the Tokyo tournament. So very much looking forward to that. Supporting Mochi and Karen Davis, who's the executive director of the USBGF, who's organizing the tournament, the ABT, American Backgammon Tour tournament in Dulles, Virginia, the Cherry Blossom Championship. Love that name. And I think they name it that because I think this is around the time of year when those cherry blossoms come out. So I'm looking forward to that in Washington, D.C. These players are on a break right now. We're in the Sochi finals, a match to 17. Alexey Askurava is winning 6-1 over Masayuki Mochizuki, otherwise known as Mochi, who's the #1 player in the world. Alexey's got his hands full, but is handling it very well right now. These players are taking a break, and you can just see the chairs and the tables that are in this room. Very comfortable seating. It's a beautiful location, and Casino Sochi has done a great job in sponsoring this. We have a bunch of other sponsors here, and I'll mention them. Jeffrey Parker, Bel Air, Alan Grunwald is the Bel Air guy. Great guy. Fun person, and owns Bel Air watch company. We've got Sochi Casino Russia, There's an official app, apparently, of the Backgammon World Series. And then we have Gammon Points sponsoring Voice of Backgammon. And Gammon Points is a new, launched this year, 2018. Gammon Points will be awarded for this tournament in the open, intermediate categories. What Gammon Points are, it's a way to give players bragging rights and fame. So it's great at these big tournaments. People know who you are and know who's winning. But what about all these local tournaments all over the world where people are playing in a group of 8, 12, 16, maybe 20 people once a week, once a month? They're with friends. It's a social activity. They're going to maybe a bar or restaurant, having a beer, having a great time playing backgammon and socializing. So what about those people? Don't they deserve bragging rights too? And now they can get them with Gammon Points. It's free to players. It's free to clubs and directors. Directors who want to use Gammon Points, just go to gammonpoints.com and register as a director. And you'll be able to award Gammon Points in your club. It's really easy. It's no overhead for you as a director. And now you can give your players bragging rights. And spoke with Karen Davis at the USBGF, and she is interested in seeing if we can put those rankings, players who've won the most Gammon Points in the last quarter, into the USBGF Primetime magazine. Now, USBGF is a sponsor of Voice of Backgammon as well. Let's see if we can get their logo up here at some point. They are really doing wonders for the game by promoting backgammon on a local level. So important. Backgammon is back, and USBGF is doing a great job in really reaching out to local clubs and directors to promote the game. This is a great game for millennials. You're 20-something, you got a job, you're making money, excuse me, you're not married. You want to meet your mate, you want to have fun, you want to do something that's intellectually stimulating, something you can do for a lifetime. You want to also not take it so seriously, like you can't go to a bar and have a beer at the same time. Backgammon's perfect. It's got all the above. So we're seeing great popularity amongst that age range. But I want to mention with Gammon Points so this will encourage them to keep showing up at the club. They want to be in the hunt. At these tournaments, the added money is what matters. The tournament players come here, they want to win some money. They see a tournament that's got $60,000 or euros added to a tournament. They're going to come. The local players, not so much. I mean, there are players who like to win the money, but they're really not there for that. They're there to have fun, to meet interesting people, and to get some bragging rights if they win. And that's what Gammon Points is able to provide for them. So you'll be seeing a lot of adoption of this. You can see the leaders now. Just go to gammonpoints.com. You don't have to register. Just go there. The leaderboard's right up there, and you can see all the different events that are participating in the directors. And if you're at a local level and your club, you're playing locally, and your club is not using this, go talk to them, your director, and say, we want our Gammon Points, and they can reach out directly to gammonpoints.com and get signed up. It's painless. It's free. We're live here from Sochi, Russia, Casino Sochi, with the finals. And we're so lucky to have Masayuki Mochizuki, well known as Mochi, the #1 player in the world, the only super grandmaster in backgammon, is playing in these finals the week before his tournament in Tokyo. And he's playing Alexey Askurava, who is a player from Russia. And let's just see if we can get some information on Alexey, because I have not had the pleasure of doing broadcasting with this particular player. So let's see if we can get some more information on him. The Russian players, I don't know if they don't travel as much or they do, but I have not seen him in the U.S. certainly, and it would certainly be more than welcome to see him there. But let's take a look. Where is Akiko Yazawa, by the way? So I don't know. I just saw her name come up. Top player from Japan. It looks like Alexey participated in the Gibraltar Backgammon Championship in 2017. So let's take a look at that. And that's where the name came up. So I saw Akiko Yazawa. She came in second in that championship, and he came in sixth, apparently. If this ranking, there's a number next to his name, so I don't know if that's actually accurate. I'm on the GibraltarBackgammon.com website looking at the 2017 event. So we're not sure if that's actually what it is. Now let's see what the winners are. That's the winners of the doubles. And let's take a look and see if we can see his name here as a winner of one of these. Gibraltar Open. Super Jackpot. Mochi won the Super Jackpot. How about that? Carter Maddox was a finalist in the Speed from the UK. Carter just had his 50th birthday party in Las Vegas. Jack Edelson from the US, semifinalist. All right, so there were some fun people. Jack is now on the board, by the way, of the USBGF. Let's see what we got here. We were going to try to find the USBGF logo for you. Let's see if we can find that here somewhere. May not have it. Now these players are taking a well-earned break as we're broadcasting live. Voice of Backgammon, broadcasting remotely for the Sochi tournament. Now let's see if we can find this here. USBGF. Let's find them. I'm not finding them. Come on, USBGF. I know I've got them here somewhere. Found it. Got it. Yes. And let's see what we're going to do with that. Okay. I want to give them credit. And the other organization whose logo needs to be up here is the BMAB. BMAB is the Backgammon Masters awarding body, and they are doing so much for this game. New CEO, Dmitry Obukov. Congratulations, Dmitry, from the US. And Dmitry has volunteered thousands upon thousands of hours in support of Backgammon, in support of transcribing matches, identifying matches. What a great job he's done. And so happy that we have a personality like his in charge of BMAB. BMAB was founded by Rich Janowski, did a great job building this organization, and has graciously exceeded leadership to Dmitry to grow the organization. We're a huge supporter of BMAB. We have a partnership, Voice of Backgammon, with them. They supply us with grandmasters at these major tournaments. If I were there in person, we would have a BMAB grandmaster. Of course, we have one, already playing that we're learning from. So this is great. Let me get this BMAB logo in here for you, so we can give them proper credit and their due for all the great things that they do for the game. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. Now the BMAB logo coming up. All right. Okay, let's transition this over and see what this looks like. All right. Ha. Okay, here we go. With these nice logos set up for you all. We transitioned over. All right. Nope. Yeah, not so great. Let's fix those up a little bit. All right. All right, we're still waiting for the players to come back. They're still on break. We're 6-1 in a match to 17, broadcasting from Sochi. And let's give a little more information about this tournament. Let's see what we can do. So there's first, this is called the Sochi Backgammon World Series, and there's $60,000 added money. As I mentioned earlier, Patty Rubin is organizing this tournament. She is a major force in backgammon. She has her own company called Wonder Soil, which is a very cool company, wondersoil.com. It's a great way to introduce kids to really, biology and the ecology and nature. But her other passion is backgammon, and she's instrumental in making Monte Carlo work and the Sochi tournament work. She's great. And Arda Vindikoglu is the premier director in the world. I mean, Arda runs the largest tournament in the world in North Cyprus. So you put these two people together, you are going to have a fantastic event. Now, this is looks like it's taking place at the casino. The recommended hotel here is the Sochi Marriott Kresnaya Poliana Hotel. You need a visa to be here, but that generally doesn't seem to have been a problem. People seem to be able to get that pretty quickly. Let's just take a quick look at the tournament itself. Also, David Fairlamb is an organizer along with Patty. If you're interested in looking at the website, it's SochiBGWS.com. Let's see if I can actually put that here in the text here temporarily for you. I'll use my little commentary tab to put this link in. So we have Sochi BGWS.com, and I think that's also Facebook as well. So you can see it right here on the bottom right. It makes it a little easier to see. I think maybe we could change the colors on this. Make it look a little better. Here we go. Let's transition that over. Okay. All right. Yeah, we just give us enough, little bit of room here. Perfect. I hear in the background Mochi's app, Heroes, Heroz. Mochi's partnered up with a company that that does that. All right, so this is Larry Shiller, voice of Backgammon, broadcasting live from remotely for the 2018 Sochi World Backgammon Championship Finals with Masayuki Mochizuki and Alexey Askurava from Sochi, Russia. And we've got cameras set up, courtesy of Ben Friesen. Ben Friesen has been able to set up the cameras on the board and on the players, and it makes it so interesting to watch as we see these players in action.
Next game.
All right, these guys are refreshed. They're back from their break, and we are back at the Sochi finals. And Alexey comes in with a 4-3, and he plays 2 men down. And that's actually not the recommended play in this situation. If he was behind, that is the recommended play according to the bots. Double threes for Mochi, comes up, threatens both checkers. And, you know, 4-3 again, does he bring 2 men down or he makes his 5-point? So that's the big question here. And, he, you know, I don't know, he might actually want to block. Block 4s, 5s, and 6s and 2s, and he's got a nice broken 4-point prime to start off the game. The only danger in doing that, and a lot of players wouldn't break their midpoint, is because they'd leave one checker on their midpoint and they'd lose control of the outfield. So I think a lot of players would opt to make their 5-point in this situation, but I honestly don't know what's right. So let's see if maybe we can bring up XG while we're thinking about this. Let's see. All right, he's taking everything back. Let's set up a new match here. Game transcription. Let's see. So I think what do we get started with? We had all right. He's thinking about this double threes. 4-3. All right, we got some stuff going on. We have a little break in the action. Changing chairs. Okay. All right, good. So we're back here. He does decide to hit with a 4-3 in the outer board. So many choices here. Mochi is not able to hit, so he comes on the 4, and I guess he'll play the 3 down. He could play the 3 off a 6-point or off a midpoint, or he could just come out to the bar. And maybe coming out to the bar might even be right in this situation. So now he's playing 19 to 22. I mean 22 to 19. 21 to 18, excuse me, would really put a lot of pressure on Alexey's blots. So we'll see. See if that's what he wants to do. That's the other option. So another option. I don't know that he's going to... What's his game plan there? Don't really know. But he's doing it. Okay. There you go. Roll for... I can't quite tell what that rolls. Is it double threes? I don't know. I think double threes would be a little easier. Maybe. Maybe not. For Alexey, what would be an easy? None of these rolls is easy. Actually, I think a 3-5 he maybe want to hit, maybe not. I don't even know. I'm a 5-3. This is a very difficult situation. It's a 3-2, and so he's opting to make his bar point. Not sure if it's right, but he hit that clock with great verve. All right, double threes for Mochi. He can't move any of the checkers. So he's got a choice of making the bar, and if he doesn't do that, he makes his 4-point, then he's going to leave a shot, but he doesn't really mind leaving a shot. He's already behind. It's not going to cost him a lot. And yeah, see, he's not even going to hit it. Doesn't even think about it. Alexey doesn't even think. He just moves that checker out to safety. And a 3-1 for Mochi, you know, seems like a standard play would be just to either play 9 to 5, bring a checker in, or bring 2 checkers off the 10 point, play 10 to 9, 10 to 7. It's hard to know. Doesn't want to leave a joker. So I think he's making the play most players would see right off the bat, which is 10 to 9, 10 to 7, and does end up making that play. Doesn't gain a lot leaving a shot. 6-5. So Alexey's able to play safely on that. Mochi's coming back with a 5-2. So he can bring his checker out into the outfield for extra pressure from the Alexey's 3-point. But he's choosing not to do that. He's building his board instead. And, how could that be wrong? 4-3. Well, he's going to have to leave a shot or just cover his limit. It's the only play, that doesn't leave a shot, and he opted to make that play. But he's really pretty stripped. It's tough for him to move those checkers around, but he's been able to do it so far this match. Alexey has been, not, when he's in a situation like this where he's close to TMP, by that I mean too many points, and he's pretty stripped, and so unless he rolls doubles or an ideal roll like a 2-1 or a 4-3 or a 5-4, he's not going to be able to play safely. He could roll a 4-1 and play safely by moving 6-1. Mochi does come out and puts a lot of pressure on Alexey. And there's a 5-2. Now that lets him play safely where we could not have played safely before. And he is going to actually do that. So that's the one roll I think that Mochi would be getting a shot on. And now it's a 6-4 for Mochi. So this is a very tense game. He'll probably just move that checker to safety. He's not really that far behind in the race. He is behind, but it's not that far behind. And this is, you can leave an indirect shot here. And I think that's the right thing, leave the indirect. So he needs any 7. Mochi's known to roll a 7, and it's ball game over if he does. He rolls a 9. Can't quite do it. So, it makes his 2-point. Makes him eliminate. They're not going to roll the 7. And he's got, looks like a 3-2. It seems like a no-brainer. With Mochi's board, don't leave any shot. Just not. 6-4. He's going to make his 1 point, I bet. I don't know. He could run duplicate 3s. Maybe that's the right play. This is a really interesting play. I think Mochi's going to take some time and think about this because this is a hard play here. This is not easy. It seems like it's right to run, but he wants to do a pip count. Now let's do a quick pip count. So it's 20, 21 is 42, and 26 is 68, and 40 is 108, and 7 is 115. So Mochi is 115 and 105 after the roll, and then he's got 34, and 20 is 62 is 98, and 100, 103. So it's really close. I think Mochi is down by 2 pips after making the play, but he couldn't hit it. And it's really creating difficulties for Alexey. All right, so Mochi has a 5-2. He's waiting for Alexey to make a tough. 5-4. What a nice roll for Alexey. He's just been doing this all game, and now it's Mochi who might be in danger of having to leave a shot here. So 3-1. Why not come out of the home board? This is a really unusual situation. He could come out with a 3-1, and that'll leave 9s with a bunch of return shots, although the 5s are duplicated. Or do you slot the 1 point and then bring a checker in, 8 to 7 to 6? Really tough decision here. Wow. And really what's interesting is, how do you make the decision? In other words, what are the criteria that a world-class player like Mochi is going to make in making this decision? And that's what's so interesting about this game, is how do they think about it? Are there reference positions that they could use? That is a really this is not a common situation. So how do you think about it? How do you decide what is actually the right play to make on a 3-1 like this with the score the way it is? So let's put it in and see. According to XG anyway, what is in fact the right play on this 3-1. And Mochi's looks like he's opting to go out. He does it with confidence. And he doesn't roll a 9. So there you go. I'm putting this into XG. We're gonna see what the actual right play is. Very close. 7-6-4-1, 21-17, basically the same. 4-1-2-1 is also wow. So many good plays. It makes this game so interesting. Even stepping up one from Alexey's 4-5 point and playing 4-1 was right. Fascinating. All right, here we go. So Mochi 4-3 again, deciding what he wants to do. He brings a man into a 6 point, realizing that his 6s now are going to be pretty stripped. We talked earlier about wastage. Look at the wastage for Alexey. He's stacking his checkers up, and there's a way to count that wastage. So if he's got more than one checker on the 1 point, which he does, he has 3 checkers on the 1 point, so you add 2 points. Oh, Mochi rolled double 4s. This is tough. There's a cube. Oh, he rolls double 5s. Oh my gosh, he gets right back into it. I was gonna say Mochi looks like he had a double, but here you go. There's wastage here. Bring that. Oh, don't do that. I don't think that's right. Oh, I think that was a huge blunder for Alexey to do that right there. I could be wrong. But why? Why not bring that checker to the 1 point? All right. Well, maybe it's gonna work out. But look at those checkers. So Alexey has 3 checkers in the 1 point. So any checker more than the first checker, you actually add an average of 2 points for wastage. So on that point, he has wastage of 4. The same goes for the 2 point, except it only counts 1. So he's got 5 checkers here. That's 4 more. That's 8. So he has, and then he's got empty spaces on the 5 and 6. That's 2 more. He's got wastage of 10 pips. That's more than a roll. So he's actually wasted more than a roll because he bore in deeply. Sometimes you can't help it. Doesn't mean he played badly. That's just what it is. That's the wastage. So now we're in a situation where Mochi is not doubled, but he's been rolling well. He's got 7 checkers versus 9 checkers, which means Mochi would have to. He's not doubling. He is not turning that cube. 3-2. He's got 5 versus 9. 6-4. Well, that didn't help. See, Mochi can afford to miss once, but not twice. But he's taking his time to think about this, right? He's got 5 checkers, so if he misses once, he'll be off in 3 rolls. And he's not rolling well. Rolls a 6-1, and now he's got to decide what to do with that. I don't know if that was. Oh, double 3s! It's a good thing Mochi didn't turn the cube. Double 6s will win the game for him. Double 4s will come close. 4-3. And he'll take a moment to look at the 3 to make sure that he's maximizing all the things that'll take checkers off. Right now he's looking at double 3s, and he can't get double 3s. Even though he has 12 pips, there's always going to be some wastage. Mochi figured that out in an instant. He drops this double because there's no way to take this. So Mochi looked like he was going to get lucky, and Alexey rolled those double 5s to get back into it. And maybe he played that right with that last 5 to bring a checker from into his 2 point. I don't know. I think his thinking might have been, let's get another checker into his home board, and that's generally a good thing to do. 7-1. Mochi not having the time of his life in this final, but he's in a good place. And by the way, Mochi's been undefeated in this tournament. So if he loses this match right now, it doesn't mean he's lost. They play again. And in other words, Alexey, because he's already lost 1 match in this tournament, needs to beat Mochi twice in order to win. All Mochi needs to do is win this match. And there could be a cube, and a gammon or a backgammon and a recube, and boy, the score is going to change dramatically. So we'll see what happens. All right, dice on top of the checkers doesn't count. Mochi rolls again. Again, he's got him on top of the checkers. And typically the player who's rolling into the home boards, this happens a lot more. And that's why this rule has been adopted by many directors, where dice on the checkers does in fact count. Because it's a disadvantage to Mochi as far as the clock is concerned. Because the checkers typically just end up right in the home boards towards the end of the game. So the likelihood the dice are going to land up on top of the checker is pretty high. Look at Mochi. He's got 2 men in the bar. Alexey, normally, so here's a case where if he's too good in a money game, he's not going to double because he's too good. Well, if it's a money game, he's got to double because of Jacoby, which means that you cannot win an undoubled gammon. So let's forget about money play. He's got to decide if he's too good to double here. And because of the match score, he may not be too good. And Mochi may actually have a take in this particular situation. So let me just see if I can possibly get this set up to show that. I'm going to put this in the XG if I can. Let's see if he had a double. Let's take a look, because the match score is huge difference here. So, in other words, Mochi would normally drop this, right, for money or an even match score. But with this particular match score where he would normally drop, he would take it. And so let's just see if that is in fact the case, because he didn't double. In fact, it's not even, well, let's see. Let's see what XG says. No, it's not even a double. At this, yeah, not a double. Oh, wait a minute, I missed something. I missed something. Ha. All right. Hard to believe wasn't a double. Yeah, it was a double pass actually at this score. Very interesting. Because the gammon chances are so high. So, but it still was a double. So Alexey actually is building up his blunders by not doubling here. Pretty interesting. Now here's the thing. He's only got 9 men in his own. Mochi needs to hit one of these checkers. And he rolls a 2-6 from the bar, the Ray Fogelin play. And he's got a 4-1. It's interesting. He's got another play here. I can't argue with that. But he could have put that second checker on the bar. Mochi does not come in. What does Alexey do? This is interesting. I don't know. Is this a double take? Pretty interesting position. He's giving it some thought. Let's see. What is the right play here? He's deciding to roll. It's really tough to know. This is actually a double pass because the gammon percentages are so high. Even at this score, it is a double pass. Barely. Let's actually plus it because not to double is a huge blunder. 0.146. And Mochi comes in with a 2 at making, probably a smart decision not to double. Mochi's, not in a great situation here. Much better board. Oh, double 3s. This is a great roll. I mean, make the 5-point prime. There's really not much question about that. Mochi doesn't have much opportunity to block him in. I don't know what you do with this. Maybe you hit on the 1 point and go 13 to 12. Try to block as best you can. That's another way to do it, and probably more effective too, because now you keep all your checkers in play. Now he's thinking about what to do. He is now turning the cube. Mochi giving this serious consideration. What do you do? If you're Mochi, do you take? Do you drop? Huge decision here, and that's why he's taking the time. These are really important decisions. And I'm going to just plug this in and see whether or not this is even a double, or if it's possibly a take or a pass. And according to XG, this is actually barely not a double. So Alexey, maybe he's just trying to game Mochi, the best player in the world, by not doubling when he should have, and would have gotten a take, and now hoping to bluff Mochi out of it. It is a .025, no double. So in other words, by doubling, Alexey has given up .025 points of equity, and in this game. Passing for Mochi would be a huge blunder, .287. And so then the question is he thinking about beavering? But here's the thing. White has a reasonable gammon chance, around 21%. Mochi only has a 6% gammon chance. And also, White has about a 1%. Mochi makes the right play after serious consideration, takes the double. Alexey then rolls 5-2 and is debating about how to play this. I'd like to duplicate his numbers. He's got 2s, 3s, and 4s right now. Keeps it going. 1s, 2s, and 4s. 6-1, of course, particularly nice. 4-3. Lets Mochi hit 2. That may seem like the thing to do. What else are you going to do? He does that. And can he come in? 5-1. Alexey is not to be denied. But Mochi now can get another checker back by rolling a 1. Can he roll the 1? And he does. He rolls the 1. And then the 4 is a little problematic. What do you do with that 4? A lot of shots. So he's going to safety it up. Not take some chances that he might have been wanting to take. 2-6. Comes in with the 2. Quickly comes out with the 6 to cover up. Mochi would like any kind of 1 here. Double 1s would be perfect. 1-5. Come in on the 1 and hit on the 5. So he does that. And not really much choice. He's looking at it, though. What are the other choices? He can play safe, 8-3, and try to reduce his gammon chances. So I think that may be what Mochi is thinking about right here. He does not want to get gammoned. And having that third checker, on the 2 point does dramatically increase his gammon chances. So we'll see what Mochi comes up with here. He is hitting. And Alexey's not able to hit. He's got a 5-4 to play. And he plays it out. I'm just curious to see if that's the right play for the 5-4 in this situation. Double 5s again for Alexey. How nice. Yeah, he could have gone bar to 16, or he could have moved the other checker out. Bar to 29-5 would have also been okay for Alexey on that before. 2 pretty equally good plays. Now he's got double fives. That is lovely. And there's a 6-2 for Mochi, kind of threading the needle there. But there's not really much of a better play. If he gets hit, he gets hit. And he does get hit, but then he's going to have to leave 3 shots. Double ones. 4 shots. Double ones, double twos, and 2-1. Mochi stays out. This is looking dangerous for Mochi. Mochi's just not getting a break here. There's a 2-1, and it seems pretty clear what the right play is. You don't want to leave a shot. I mean, at this stage, even though Mochi's got a blot in his home board, this doesn't seem. Why would you bother? So 5-1. Mochi gets rid of that blot in a hurry. 5-4. Safeties it up now. He's got 6-3. Mochi would love that 6-3. If he could do it, double fours. You know, I guess he's preparing to roll double fours, double ones, and double sixes to try twice to get back into this game. Is that a legal play? Yeah, it was a legal play. 5-1. Mochi rolls double threes. Now he's got his board. So he's put everything into place. Now he just needs a 1-6 or pretty much any kind of 6. Now that's an odd play, I think, for... no, it's not an odd play because the 5 is forced. So he's... nothing odd about that. I think it was my comment that was a little bit odd, actually. So, all right, so Mochi's here. He stays out with a 5-6. Alexey really wants to cover that, and he does with a 5-3, and he's preparing to bring his checkers in. He does not want to roll a 6-5, or really a 5-4 for that matter. That would be no fun. He rolls a 1 and a 4 and brings both checkers in. Alexey's going for the gammon. Mochi's trying to get in. Mochi's nervous about getting gammoned here. He's got a reasonable gammon percentage. It's a 5-4. He's able now to play that safely with his ugly distribution. Paid off for him. Mochi cannot come in. Mochi's luck factor, I'm sure, is not very good in this match. There's a 2-1. He is now, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's right. That is a really interesting play there. He did it very quickly. Looks like it may pay off for him. And we'll see. Mochi still is not coming in. Several rolls in a row he stayed out. 6-1. Woo! So he needs doubles. Mochi wants him to roll double twos. That's not a good roll. He breaks his board. Oh, painful. 2-1, 2-2 is not what he wanted to roll. 5-3 takes 2 checkers off. He's going for the gammon. Very high gammon probability here. Mochi's really going to need a miracle to save the gammon. Plays 5-3. There's a 6-5. He's off in basically 4 rolls. Double sixes. There you go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. He does play him in. He wastes a pip, but he's got a lot of shots coming up, and 4-1 is not one of them. So he's going to move that back checker unless he rolls double ones. He's coming out of there 6. It'll keep him coming all the way. There's this crossover thing that people talk about, but it really doesn't have a lot of value. Oh my gosh, double 5s, and Mochi needs double 4s or better to save this gammon, and he doesn't do it. Unbelievable. Alexey gammons Mochi with a cube at 2, and he's ahead 11-1 in this match. This is going to be a tough score for Mochi to come back from. Amazing show by Alexey here, playing the only super grandmaster in the world. Alexey leading 11-1 against Mochi, and yet Mochi, you would never know by looking at his face. He's been here before, and he's come back in these situations before. So don't think that this game is over. Far from over. But just to show you what the match equity table says. Now again, it's a match to 17, so Mochi's 16 points away from winning this match, and Alexey's only 6 points away from winning the match. So then the question is, if you're 6 and 16, what is the probability? And it's 11% for Mochi. So Mochi's basically 1 out of 9 times at this score he's going to win the match. 11%. So if he's given an opportunity, you know, Alexey is going to turn the cube very late because Mochi's just going to snap it up. But he's not going to, if there's no volatility, Alexey's still going to give the cube as if it were a money game. You know, just because Mochi could turn the game around doesn't mean that Alexey shouldn't be turning the cube. Still a favorite to win. All right, 5-3. Mochi's building his home board, but Alexey has an advanced anchor. There's a 6-5. Common question here: what do? Do you run the back checker or do you run the checker on the 4-point? He's gonna run that checker. Makes sense. He's ahead in the race. 5-3, and he can't hit, so he's got to decide what to do. He brings 6-3, a checker over. Might have been right to play 11-8. I can't tell what does Mochi have there? 5. Not quite sure I can make that out. Well, it's probably a 5-1. Oh, 4. I missed it. All right, and now 6-3. So Alexey misses the opportunity to hit. He brings 2 checkers to safety. You know, I don't know if that was right. You know, maybe it was right to bring 2 checkers in, slot the 5-point. No, he did it very quickly, so I don't know. Mochi's bringing his checkers around. I was waiting for the double 5s from Alexey. It's a 5-4. He can make his 1 point. He could slot the 4 and then go 6-1. No, really, in this situation where, boys, it's pretty close. This is really pretty close. Let's see if we can get a pip count here. Mochi's thinking about doubling. You know, he's behind and wants every opportunity to try to get up in this match, and so he's going to do it by being a little more aggressive with the doubles. Not something you want to do, though, if you don't really have a huge advantage. So that's the thinking process on Mochi's part. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Mochi's got 5-4. And 5-2. And he's gonna bring 2 down. That gives him Mochi has a pretty good chance here of winning this game. But even though he's about a 71% favorite, it's not a double for Mochi. Isn't that surprising? It's close though, pretty close. Actually, you know what? I have the wrong scoring here. I am guessing it turns into a double. I am guessing it is in fact a double because it's 11-1. I had to score 6-1 in doing this analysis. And now, no, it's still barely, it's so close, 0.016. So it's a reasonable double because, you don't need a lot of drops on Alexey's part. Now he's changing his play, and this may, in fact, oh, wait a minute. Wait a second here. All right, so we have a whole different setup. He rolled a 6-3. Oof. I'm waiting for these guys to take a breath here. So he's got a 3-1, and let's see what the right play is on this 3-1 here. He's looking at some possibilities. 7-6, 7-4 is the right play, actually. So there's a bit of a blunder, 0.044 blunder from Mochi there, which is rare. But it looks like he's just trying to preserve. But really, it's about game plan. You know, the game plan is Mochi's racing, so bring 2 checkers in. It's really what the concept is. Double twos, and Alexey can't do anything with that. He's got to play within his home board, and not a pleasant situation for him. Maintains his board as best he can. 6-2. Cannot bring 2 men in. And Alexey's saying, all right, I'm going to race it. I have to run with a 5. So I'm not going to take any chances. I'm just going to go for it. And he's got his double twos. So this is a race that Mochi's way ahead in, and he's already doubled. And Mochi draws first blood. And 2-1 takes 2 checkers off. Simple enough. So we've got 12 checkers versus 10 checkers. 10 checkers versus 10. Mochi's in the driver's seat here. Even that double once is helpful because he gets 3 checkers off. Well, he's debating. He's oh yes, look at that. That's a smart play. That's the sign of a great player. You know, Mochi just set up his board, so he's just going to be taking off more checkers next time. Instead of taking that 3rd checker off, he filled 2 holes in his home board. Great job. Again, look at how Mochi is rolling. It's just painful because, you know, he couldn't roll an even number. So there you go. He's in danger of losing this, and he rolls a 2-1. He just is not able to make the rolls here. It doesn't mean that Alexey's going to pull this one out though. He's got 5 checkers back to bear off. Mochi with the 3-1, unbelievable. Double twos. Oh, but it only takes 1 checker off. He's only got 2 checkers on even triangles. So he takes the 6 off, and then the question is for the 2. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't roll a 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. And Mochi is the favorite. You know, we'll see. I think Mochi's the favorite. Oh, but a 3-2, he just cannot roll. And the question is, what do you do with the 3? You know, you want to be off, probably looking at doubles. Maybe 5-2 would get you closer with double twos. Here, double twos is okay because it only leaves 2-1. He's looking at all the possibilities, and he does, in fact, yeah, make the recommended play. Double 4s? Are you kidding me? So Alexey's going to pull this one out. Mochi was way ahead, and he just could not make a roll. Can he roll the doubles at the end? No! Mochi had like several rolls in a row where he just didn't have more than 5 pips on the dice. So Mochi loses yet another game. This one doubled. It's now 13-1. Mochi's got Alexey right where he wants him. That's it. He's down 11-1. Sorry, 13-1. 4 away, 1 away. Really a tough spot for Mochi to be in right here. Let's just take a look at the match equity table and take a look and see how dire this situation is for Mochi, being 4 away, 16 away. Oof. 4 away, 16 away. 5.51%. His odds just went down by half. And Mochi's turn to roll double fives. Now he's going for the gammon. Normally, 5-3, this would be a drop, but I mean, not even a double. Mochi may consider doubling here, but he's not. He's not considering the double. And, he doesn't want to go down 15-1 either. So he's a lot of players in this situation, certainly I'm one of them, gets very aggressive with the cube when I'm behind to this extent. Now, to Mochi's credit, I have a feeling he's rarely behind 13-1 and will match to 17, but he knows what to do. In my situation, I know from previous matches, being down, I'd be cubing already. I'm ahead in the race, and I figure, okay, let me. I rolled my double fives, but I did get hit, which lost me a lot of that on the 5 points. I lost the 20 pips I actually gained, so I don't know if I'm ahead in the race. Probably pretty close to even. Anyway, we've got a 6-5 to play, and Mochi is deciding what to do. He could bring 2 men down. He could race. He says, well, look, I'm ahead in the race. Let me leverage that. 3-2. You slap the 4 point, take 2 men off the 6 point. It's ugly, but lots of ways to play your checkers. He's going to do that. You might as well start the home board. The other thing you could do is 13-8. Not sure what that does for you. At least this gets, or you could also play 8-3. That's not, it's reasonable. The thing here, though, what is Mochi going to do with a 6-2? What's he going to do with a 5-1? So, there are some uncomfortable rolls for Mochi, and believe me, he's been making those rolls this match. So does he have another one? Is it a 6-3? That is not an uncomfortable roll. Easy, 13-4. Again, a 3-2, and boom, no thinking there. Just make your 3-point board. And now the players are starting to play fast. I can't see the clock, so I can't tell if they're under time pressure. But all of a sudden, things have sped up considerably. Mochi's got a 3-1. He's just going to make his 4 point. 6-1, easy, 13-6. Boy, they're playing like they're on speed. This is really, really fast. Unless something happened with the streaming. Who knows? That might be possible. Anyway, Mochi's got double threes here, and this is one of those kind of lousy rolls. He's probably going to leave a shot right there. He's got to, it's going to decide where he wants to leave it. He could play 4-1 and not leave the shot, or he could play 10-7. So that's what he's debating about right now. The other option is he could leave the 8s and 1s because look, Alexey's got a blot in his home board. That would make, if Alexey didn't have the blot, I think this would be the right play. But Alexey's got that blot. So, but Mochi, maybe he's just a little shy. Alexey's now asking him.
What do you mean here? You have some numbers. 2, 4, 2, 6.
You want to leave this trigger?
I guess they're discussing the play. Mochi's scratching his head, which is like, oh, look at Alexey rolls double 6s. Unbelievable. This is amazing. I mean, Alexey has rolled, and Mochi sort of is looking away like, okay. This doesn't matter what I play. Alexey's, debating whether to leave the shot at this point. So he's doing a pip count. Let's do a quick pip count. So for Mochi is 40, 70, 98, 110 for Mochi, and Alexey's got was that 39 and 42 is 81, 89, 99. Oops, 89 and 14 is 103, 105. So it's 105. So he's only up by 5 pips, but I think it's got to be the right play. Why leave a shot unnecessarily? Let's see. Well, let's just look at that. So if you play those 2 last 6s down from the midpoint, you're leaving 8s, and not double 2s, right? So it's going to be impossible to cover for Mochi if he does able to get the hit. So I don't know. Question as to which is right. Probably not that much different. Oh, 6-2. So yeah, he's going to bring 2 men in. Mochi with a 5-3. All right, so he's making his board. That's an 8. 1 roll too late. 5-1. They'll play 13-8, 2-1. It's an interesting thing about Alexey's game. So some dots to connect. So he doesn't seem to. It's not automatic for him. I think he might be thinking about 5-1, 2-1 as an alternative. But it doesn't seem to be automatic for Alexey to plan for the bear off. And you see this in a lot of players. And before there were bots, I don't think anyone really focused on that. They were thinking, oh, I want to make sure my home board is ready if I get a shot. But there are times when it's more important to have your, forego a shot, even if you get it, because you're so far ahead in the race. Spread your blots evenly in your home board, obviously in back of your opponent. So this has been a change in the game. So here, a lot of players now would automatically play 13-8, 2-1, because they want to clear that midpoint. That's assuming they're ahead in the race. So let's actually see, since Alexey's taking some time on this, maybe we can actually catch up and see what the actual odds are here. So he's making his decision. Of course, the minute I try to, and he does that. He makes what I think is the right play. Mochi now is 6-2. He's again got a decision. Does he play 4-2 or does he leave himself a 6? He does that, which seems like clearly the right play. 4-2 here, and again Alexey's I think made the right play again. I'm saying like he doesn't do it often. World class player. Does Mochi play 5-3? He wants to preserve his 6s. If he plays 5-3, at least he's going to preserve something of a board, a 5-point board. He could also play the 2 in, but he plays 5-3. It seems like the obvious play. Now there could be a shot. Look, Alexey rolls the doubles again when he needs them. And here, 6-4-2 seems right. But it just gives a little bit more time. 8-4 may be right. Maybe this is the right play. I didn't actually count the numbers, but I think this leaves a lot more numbers. And now for Mochi, he's not getting gammoned here. So why give him miracles? Double 4s, 1-4, 4-3. Actually, 4-3 is not going to do it. 4-1, double 1s, double 2s. Yeah, pretty brutal. So why bother? Unless you think you can close him out and possibly win a gammon. But if Mochi gets a shot and hits, he's going to double Alexey out of the game, unless Alexey comes in with a 5. So 70% of the time he'll double him out of the game. This is tricky. All right, so let's see. We're back. I'm going to now state publicly that I'm going to try to put this into XG, which means that Mochi's going to make his move right away. But that's okay. Let's try it. See if we can come up with this. It's really so interesting to see these world-class players make these important, really game-changing type decisions. And this is one of those decisions where, you've got a lot riding on it. And these players are smart enough to know when to take the time to make those decisions. Let's see here. All right. Mochi's still looking at this. He's thinking hard. It is actually, doesn't make that much of a difference. The only play where he would take a double is 20-14, 7-6, which is the play he's looking at right now. And he made the play. He made the only play where he could take the double. And by the way, it's a great way to think about it. Like, well, if I make this play, am I going to take the double? So if you're a player and you don't know which to do and you're behind, then a nice way to think about it is to flip the situation and say, okay, am I going to get a double? And if I get one, am I going to take it? Which play is going to let me take the double? Now, this was a huge double on the part of Alexey right here. And I think because he's so far he's up by 10 pips. He's so far ahead in the game, in the match, he didn't want to double. But it's a huge double for him. Let's take a look and see what kind of blunder it was not to double in this situation. Well, maybe I'm wrong. It would be the first time for everything. Let's see. It's a double pass. Yeah, it's a double pass here. So many things can go wrong. There's some gammon, chances for white. If he can get that checker, he's got probably 10%, 8% gammon. Didn't do it. Still didn't double. I don't understand why. There's no doubling going on here, but there is no doubling going on. Go figure. So let's see what's going on. Mochi finally runs away. He still doesn't double. I don't get it. Is he that afraid of the score? Now he's thinking. He's looking. He's saying, okay. And in this situation here, it's a clear pass. In fact, he's actually too good. No, he's not too good to double. I was going to say he's almost too good to double. I thought there was an extra checker hanging out there prior to that. So in this situation here, there's no gammon, but it's a pass. Definitely not a take for Mochi. But look, he's got a 93% chance to win this game. And so Mochi's decision, if it was 90%, Mochi would actually take the double. It doesn't mean it's a bad double just because he's going to take it. It's still a good double to make. He should have made this double. It's a pretty. It's not a huge blunder not to double. It's like a .015 blunder mistake. Now he finally turns the cue. Feels like he's finally ready. Mochi's, very unlikely to take this. Let's just put an XG and see what XG thinks about this, and it's clearly a pass. This is almost pretty close to zero for Mochi to win this, and definitely under the 4% that the 14-1 match score. But look at this match score. Have you ever seen this? Masayuki Mochizuki, #1 player in the world, trailing Alexey Askurava 13-1 in a match to 17. This is a surprising result to anyone. Mochi against anyone. They used to say in tennis, who's the best doubles team? It was John McEnroe and anybody. And in backgammon, it's who's the best double team? It's Mochi and anybody. That's why Mochi usually, when he plays doubles, doesn't have a partner. All right, here we go. 4-3. I don't know if that's the right play on Alexey's part. Usually it's correct to come up with a 4 in that situation, but he's playing a priming game. Mochi can't hit. I saw a 1, so I don't know what that is, but I guess a 2 and a 1. He's going to split his back checkers. He's debating what to do here, so that's interesting. Now he has some time. Let's see if we can do a game transcription here. So I can bring this up. Ha! All right. Mochi did slot. Yeah, he's going for it. If you go, well, I don't have a lot of risk, and let me put the pressure on my home board. I love that. Really interesting play. This looks right. Make the point and hit. I mean, in backgammon, you have choices sometimes. you want to hit a checker, get ahead. If you're not ahead in the race or not ahead enough, you want to hit a checker. You want to make a point. You definitely want to make a point in your home board. Boy, if you could do both of those things, how could it be wrong? So I'm not clear what Alexey is thinking right here. He might be nervous, given that he's playing the #1 player in the world, but he's an experienced guy, and he knows what he's doing. I think he's going to end up making the right play here. Oh, yes. All right, he does. He says, look, what am I thinking? It might be the ugliness of the 5 checkers on the 6 point. I don't know. But Mochi doesn't want to get gammon. He's safe if he's up that checker. He can't hit anything. There's a 6-5. Not clear how to play this. Brings the checker to safety. Duplicates 2s. Mochi needs a 2 to make the 3 point. Needs a 2 to hit. What does he roll double 2s? Yeah, of course he does. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, and maybe 11 and 9 to build an extra builder, or 24 to 22. I like the idea of, yeah, he's doing those two clearly, and so he doesn't even think about the 11 and 9. I kind of like that 11 and 9. Because it just gives those extra builders in Mochi's home board, and he's furthering an attacking game. He's got 10 men in his own, so go ahead and attack and maximize your checkers. Don't worry about being hit. If he had done that, he'd be making his 5 point right now. So, yeah, it's interesting. He's got a 4-1. The 1's uncomfortable. I mean, he could come out with a 4. I think he's okay coming out with a 4, playing 22 to 18, and then playing 11 to 10. No, there's no direct shots in the outer board with that 11 to 10. And if he gets hit, he has lots of opportunities to make Alexey's bar or hit back on the 1 point. So Mochi can afford to be aggressive here. He's got an advanced anchor. The boards are similar, and he really is not in any great risk. Now he's looking at this alternate play to make the bar point, which I really hadn't even looked at before. So, which would leave a direct shot. He's also looking at hitting on the 5. I don't know why he's not looking at coming out with a 4. Let's see if he's going to do that next. He's just pointing there. So he's not considering it that seriously, or maybe that is the only play that he thinks he can make, and he's just looking at the other ones. You see that sometimes, like the obvious play, he doesn't even look at it and then he makes it. So let's put this position in now that we've got some time. I didn't realize Mochi was going to take this much time looking at it. But let me go file new here, set up a new setup. So he did that play. He made that play. So interesting. And he rolls the 5, and so he's going to hit. It makes sense to hit. And the 1, I guess keep him coming. So he doesn't have any good 5s to play. So he'll have to hit on the 1 point with the 5. Oh, he duplicate. I don't understand that. I guess he can escape that checker. Okay. Mochi rolls a 3-2, so he can hit. Happy about the way that worked out for Mochi. Mochi's got a good solid game on both sides of the board. 5-4. He's not able to hit, but he can cover. So he's going to come in with a 5, cover that 1 point. It's been a thorn in his side. The other opportunity, some players would hit on the 2 point in this situation. It's a very volatile situation. He's actually looking to run. All right, reasonable. 3-1, that hits. It breaks the midpoint, but it does hit. He could also make the 5 point. Yeah, it can't be. You got to make the 5 point here. I mean, what else? Oh, he's looking at hitting. Oh my gosh, I don't know. This seems so automatic to make the 5 point. I'm missing something here. It just seems like a clear, obvious play. Okay, I guess Mochi was just playing with us there. But it gives me self-doubt when I see Mochi not making what seems to be an obvious play. But it's to his credit that he's taking the time to look at what all the possibilities are. And that's what, one of the many reasons he's the greatest player in the world. And we're looking forward to seeing Mochi next week. I'll be going to Tokyo and spending time before and after the tournament there. Mochi and I are going to see the city. I think Blake Fleetwood is joining us, so we have from New York. So really looking forward to having the opportunity to spend time with these great people, great players. People really love the game. And by the way, here Alexey rolled double fours, which is, doubles are great, but not this set of doubles. But I think you want to bring two men down to block the sixes here. There's no question. And if you got to, you got to play two more. I don't know. That seems okay. I like it because it's going to be hard for think about all the rolls Mochi has next time. Even if he rolls a 1, he's that's that's probably the right play. I didn't even see that. Yeah, sure. That seems to make a lot of sense. You're duplicating 4s everywhere. Mochi, double 4s. Alexey just rolled it. He's got one more. There's the rub. I like the play. I think he had other plays, but if Mochi doesn't roll a 4 or 3-1, he is in trouble because if Alexey rolls a 4, Mochi could be in the bar for a while. Now, I don't know what Mochi's thinking. Well, he's obviously thinking about doubling because if he does hit, and this is a fascinating position, so only Mochi would think about. Well, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't have thought about it. But this is a great opportunity to potentially double. Because if he hits, look what kind of shape he's in. So let's take a look and see. What is the right play for Mochi? Should he be doubling? From the bar in this situation. It is not a double, but it's barely not a double. A double would have been only a 0.03 error in this situation. Isn't that interesting? Sorry, 0.09. I just did a plus on it. All right. So the cube has not been turned. Mochi cannot come in to this board, so he's still stuck there. He's in danger of being gammoned. Aw. So I just got a post from Ben Friesen. This is terrific. First he says, I'll just quote from Ben's. We got a 4-3 here. So we're looking at 3-6, 4-6, 4-5. He's going to leave 9 numbers. Here he's going to leave 6 numbers, double 4s, 7 numbers. So what do you want to do? You want to do that? That's 3-4 and double 4s. That seems like the right play. All right. So Ben says, first, I think most everyone in Russia goes by Alexey. So Alexey, you got a lot of company. You got a lot of people rooting for you. Antoinette Williams, who's involved in the Monte Carlo tournament and also a huge backgammon fan and player, was the winner of the Texas Backgammon Championships a year ago in the U.S., runs a tournament, the Paradise Tournament in Harlem in New York. Antoinette informs us that Alexey has never won a tournament, even though he is very good. Mochi, 4-1, and he finally hits, so makes the play. Alexey stays out. Now Mochi's probably got a double. Let's take a look at this position, and then we'll come back and I'll give you some more details about what Ben is saying about Alexey. But Mochi doubles. He doesn't take a lot of time, and Alexey passes. He doesn't want to get gammoned in this situation. Mochi is back on the board, 14-2. Oh, this is really an amazing score. You just don't see this with Mochi being down 14-2. Hard to imagine. Let's bring up that match equity table and take a look. So we are 15 away, 3 away. And 3 away, 15 away. 4.5 Yeah, 3 away, 15 away. It's 4.5% for Mochi. All right, so these guys are taking a break. And so while they're doing that, I'm actually going to put in this board position. And let's take a look at how smart that double was on Mochi's part. Let's set these checkers up. All right. And Antoinette has some very informative comments for us on Alexey. She says when he won the final of the last chance in a recent tournament, Alexey was so happy that he cried. And she says he is really passionate about winning this tournament. Well, who wouldn't be? And especially when you're playing Mochi, who wouldn't be? I mean, what a great honor for both of these gentlemen to be playing here. It's got to be great for Alexey to be in this situation. And I can imagine him being pretty nervous playing the best player in the world in this situation. By the way, this score with 14-1, Mochi has a double here, and it's very close to a take. In other words, I'm running plus on this now. This is really close to a take. In fact, it is a take. Believe it or not, this is a take. Mochi has a 68% chance of winning from this position. Excuse me. And he has about 17% gammons. The backgammons are about 0.6% for Mochi, 0.3% for Alexey. So, the gammons are under 20%. The winning percentage is under 70%. And that makes this a bare take. Now, you can't blame Alexey for dropping. Because White's thinking, I have some gammon shots here. Mochi rolls a 7 or an 8, not double twos. And, he's picked up a second checker, and now there is some significant gammon chance. And that's why it's as high as 17%, 16%, 16.9%. Because if he rolls a 7 or an 8, which has a probability of 1036, so you're looking at a 28% chance of right off the bat picking up a second checker, and which means that about 2/3 of the time that you do that, you're going to win a gammon. So there you go. So not a huge surprise for Alexey to drop this, and I think most players, myself included, would drop this double at this match score because of the perceived additional value of the gammons. And Mochi, aside from 7s and 8s, if he rolls a 5-4, he's got a 5-point prime. But it's also possible in this situation for Alexey to safety up that blot on the 11 point. Anyway, all right, so we're going to lose the signal for a moment. We're changing the Wi-Fi code, so bear with us. We'll be back shortly. See if we can go to break mode here. Okay, we're back. Players are still on break, so we will take a break as well. Thank you for joining us. This is Larry Shiller, voice of Backgammon, broadcasting remotely the Sochi World Backgammon Championship, Sochi 2018. Patty Rubin and Arda are organizing and running this fantastic tournament. We're watching the finals between Alexey and Mochi, and the players are on break, and we'll be back shortly. And we are back. Alexey is waiting for Mochi. All right, these players are taking a break, which means it's time for upcoming tournaments. We've got lots of tournaments coming up. This is the season for backgammon tournaments. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's coming up. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up on my computer here. If I can find it. We've got a list of the upcoming tournaments. I can tell you that Tokyo is May 3rd through May 5th. This is a tournament run by Mochi. Very exciting. It's the first time I'll be in Tokyo for this. And right after that tournament comes the Cherry Blossom Championship in Dulles, Virginia. So that is May 9th through the 12th, and the BMAB will be in at that tournament, Cherry Blossom. That's run by Karen Davis. And I've got my tournament schedule coming up in the other computer. We can take a look at that. And then after the second Cherry Blossom Championship, that's at the Hyatt Hotel in Dulles, Virginia. The next tournament, there is a London Open tournament that run by the UK Backgammon Tour that I will not be attending, but I do want to mention it. It'll be in London at the Henrietta Barnett School. It's the London Open 2018. Blackpool has a tournament June 8th through the 10th. So London Open May 25th to May 27th. But just before that is the 38th Chicago Open. And my good friend Rory Pascar runs that tournament, does an excellent job. Rory's in the food service business. And so he knows food. So he knows how to run a backgammon tournament because he knows how to feed everybody. He's got great food there. I think maybe compared to second compared to Artist Tournament in North Cyprus, I will have to say. All right, so let's look. We've got other tournaments coming up. Barry Silliman and Karen Davis running Cherry Blossom Championship May 10th. I think BMAB has a tournament there May 9th through the 13th of May in Dulles, Virginia. I mentioned Mochi's tournament May 3rd through May 5th. Okay, next one is Rory's 38th Chicago Open, which is happening May 24th through May 28th. And the Boys of Backgammon will be there. We'll be at the second Cherry Blossom Championship. We'll then be at the Los Angeles Open. Candice Mayron runs, she's what a fantastic person, and she runs such a great tournament. I can't wait for that tournament. She literally rolls out the red carpet. And, you know, she's got one of those backdrops that you can stand in front of, get your picture taken, feel like a celebrity. This is what it ought to be about. This is backgammon. We are celebrities. We play backgammon. We get it. All right. Candace gets it. So that tournament is in LA the 22nd through the 24th of June. June 22nd, 3rd, and 4th. Really looking forward to that. She runs a great event. It's at the Hilton LAX in Los Angeles. By the way, you can go to voiceofbackgammon.com for a list of all these things. So let me actually update that so we can show you that information where all these tournaments are listed, and you can get all this information and just keep up to date. Let's replace this. All right, great. But there's more. All right, so we've got Candice Mayron's tournament, and then Carol Joy Cole, just a fixture in the world of backgammon for decades. What a tremendous supporter of the game. She's got great stuff to sell. Any book you want to get. Dice, boards, you name it. Carol's got it. Carol Joy Cole, she runs, I think it's the second or third most popular tournament in the United States, the Michigan Summer Championships. She runs it over the July 4th weekend, so you can have an extra day, right? So you can stay for Monday. So it's a 4-day tournament, July 5th through July 8th this year in Novi, Michigan, at the Sheraton. Novi, N-O-V-I. Like, where did they come up with a name like this? So I was asking around. I don't know if this is true, but this is a story I heard. That they had several like counties or plot squares, plots of geographic squares in Michigan way back when, and they numbered them with Roman numerals. So it was, I, V, so on. So they would then kind of come up with names for them. So this was plot number, you'll never guess, plot number 6. So it was number NO 6 VI. So they called it Novi. So there you go. That's Novi, Michigan. You heard it first here, even if it's like fake news. I don't know. But it's a good story. I like it. I buy it. It makes sense. Sounds like something, some government official in Michigan would do. Maybe Flint was, Noxie, Noxi. Maybe Flint was number 11. That's how they got the water problems. I don't know. All right. So there you go. Carol Joy Cole, July 5th to July 8th. Great way to celebrate 4th of July, a day late. Then, what else do we have? Patty Rubin is back with the Monte Carlo Open and World Championship. So this is like a premier event. This is at the Fairmont Hotel. Gorgeous. Monte Carlo, right on the Med. Beautiful. So that's what's happening. Excuse me. June 28th to August 5th. I think the World Championship is maybe like August 2nd to August 5th. I'm not sure of that starting date, but they have a couple of local tournaments that starts July 28th. I'll be getting there on the 28th. I don't know if I'm going to play in the local tournaments. We'll be there as voice of Backgammon for Patty and for Arda. Arda runs that tournament. Loved Arda's tournaments. So, just does such a great job. Inspiration for everyone. Other tournaments coming up. Ken Bain is running his 3rd Silicon Valley Open over Labor Day. And then there's a whole bunch of other tournaments that are happening. I'll just mention Arda, again, runs another tournament, October 29th to November 4th in North Cyprus. It's the most amazing tournament. I think people would agree to go to. But we're back. Here's Mochi. Alexey is an opening 6-2. Mochi with a 4-3. And Alexey with a 4-2. These pretty standard opening rolls. That 4-3 now is pretty standard after a 6-2. Mochi's on the bar, looking for a 1-2 or a 6. He rolls a 5-3. And what's he going to do? Probably come in on the 3. And he may play 5, 9-4. So he's going to be duplicating 3s and 5s. And otherwise, I don't really know what else he could do. I mean, you want to leave a blot where if he doesn't get hit, it does some good. That's your home board. He's looking at possibly hitting. I think he's going to reject that idea because he doesn't have a better home board, and the tempo doesn't do him any good. So here, at least, he's slotting the 4. 4-1 for Alexey. So now what? Probably just safety that checker up. There's really nothing better you can do. You don't want to leave a blot hanging around. You're ahead. Mochi double 1s. Beautiful roll. I mean, you can make a 3-point board. Instant 3-point board. Really hard to imagine doing anything else with that play. Some people might make the bar, but I don't think it's right. Alexey with double 5s. We talked to Kroll earlier. Mochi duplicating his 3s and 5s. The danger of duplication numbers is the opponent might roll them. And the opponent did, and Mochi stays out. This is amazing. This is just every single game. Now, Alexey is thinking about a double. I don't think this is a double. I don't know. Maybe it is. He doesn't double, because if he wins the game, he's up 15-2, really. 6-5. Mochi comes in. Now this might be a double. I don't know. Double 1s. Yeah, look at this. And then move the checker up all the way. Yeah, that's it. All right, so Alexey's playing it right. Mochi's in really deep trouble here. Comes in with a 6, though, to his credit. But, this is he playing for the gammon? Maybe he's playing for the gammon. 4-2. He hits. Do you cover? Run. Move the checker. I don't know. Maybe you bring another checker down. I don't know. This is hard. What do you do with this? This is not easy. Not easy. These plays. This is a really interesting position. He does leave the blot there. He says, let me leave it. Does Mochi hit it? He stays out. He rolls a 1-3. Oh, this is really amazing stuff. And Alexey's able to get a 6-point back. Mochi's still staying. Now it's clearly too good. Well, he might have taken before. Now it's definitely a drop. Comes in with a 2. He's going to want to hit that if he can. He can't, but yeah. He doesn't have the 1 to play. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I don't know. It's duplicating 5s. And Mochi's in with a 2-6. So there you go. Probably play the 6 down. What else is he going to do? You know, try to 5 prime him over there, and he doesn't have to hit it, and he doesn't hit it. He can't move, and this is great. So Mochi's he's gonna kill a checker. 6-1. So there you go. Mochi's in much better shape now. This was actually, you know, this is interesting. This in terms of doubling, Mochi actually had a cube. Even though it's only a 59% chance favorite, he actually had a cube. Very interesting. Very interesting position. Now he's thinking about it. And he turns the cube. and he drops it. And it is a pass. That was a great cube. Great cube. You know, 1s and 6s. 5s aren't that great. What a turnaround. So Mochi's turned it around. It's 14-3. And now Mochi's getting some of the mojo that has been the sole domain of Alexey up to this point. Mochi's making his comeback. It's 14-3. It's a 5-4 opening. Yep, and he hits the 3-1. And he stays out. And he comes in with a 5-3. And hits with a 2-6 from the bar. And then double 2s. No, I'm trying to put this into XG here. So what do? Probably bring 2 men down for the midpoint. Let's go. Unstack. That's such a valuable point, that 11 point, especially if you don't have the 5 point. Huge. And there's a 2-1, so not much you could do. Yeah, play there. All right, I missed the match. All right, so 5-3 for Mochi. He'd like a 6-4. I'd like to make that bar point. He's going to come out to the... Oh, that was interesting. So he didn't come out to the bar. And the double 2 is such a popular roll. I guess, you know, you play 4-2 and 13-11. Let the chips fall where they may. And have a nice board there. Here we go. Great. Well, it's pretty standard right now. (5-3) makes a nice point for Alexey. Mochi stays out for a change. And he's got a, what's he have there? 5-4. And actually, the recommended play there, I think it might have been to bring the two men down for the midpoint. Or, yeah, that is actually the right play. Would have been break the midpoint at that point. A lot of players don't like breaking the midpoint, but if you have your 11 point, it's okay. You know, with an anchor. And Mochi is on the bar. Still. Now this 5-4 is interesting. The right play was actually to break from the 11 point. Isn't that something? So very interesting. That was the right play, and not to strip. But there's double fours. Look at this. Mochi does come in. Yeah, and actually the right play with double fours he did make. To leave that shot, duplicates ones. Mochi's got a 5-6. And so the question is, oh, it's the double. Yeah, sorry, that cube got turned. Oh, look at this. Look at this position. Fascinating. We got a real change here in the game because now Alexey's on the bar. And he's got a 3-1 and he can't hit. No, that's Mochi. Yeah. Mochi's got Alexey on the bar. And Alexey comes in with a 2-5. And he doesn't even think. He just comes out. He just does not want to risk any of those other blocks. He's got a lot of ones. Oh, 1-4. But he can't use it. All right. Needs a 1 or a 5. Mochi rolls both a 1 and a 5. He's going to hit 2 checkers. And Mochi is in the driver's seat. Looking like Gammon City. This is how he comes back. Now Alexey's turn to stay out. Mochi is on a roll. No pun intended. Huh. They are hitting back and forth here. It's got 4-1. For Mochi. So where does he play that for? I don't know. I like hitting, coming in on the 1 and hitting. Because there's a whole bunch of numbers that are terrible for Alexey if he does that. Yeah. All right, Mochi's in the driver's seat here. He's got 2 checkers back, 5-point prime. But he needs to roll something besides a 4 or 1. He needs a 3, 5, or a 6. You know, double 4s is not what Mochi wants right here. 4-3 is okay. He can escape a checker or he can hit. Hitting is interesting. Gets that back checker out of there so he doesn't need the 4s anymore. Great move. Mochi's a huge favorite. And he's a favorite to gammon in this situation. 5-3. So, 5-3. Yep. Gets those checkers out of there, ready to rock and roll. But Alexey's been able to button up in the 2-point. That's going to help save the gammon. Mochi's got a 6-5. And he's going to bring an extra builder onto his bar point. Double 1s is nice. And a 5-4, he can free both of those back checkers. So he's looking at that. That is his play. Double 6s plays very nicely for Alexey, but he didn't roll it. 6-4. So, you know, you probably want to bring a man in from... oh, he's going to make the point to block 6-2s, and he's going to give him double 6s. Yeah, I think he'd be better off getting hit with double 6s. So just bring a checker in from the 15-point to the 5-point. Now, if Alexey wants to run with a 6, you have three men pointing on him. Let's see, that's what he's looking at doing. But he's rethinking the 6-4, and he's making that his play. He rolled the double 6s. What is Mochi thinking? Alexey rolled double 6s. I was looking away at the XG. Alexey got out of there and rolled double 6s. This match is close to over. We're going to be, well, he's not going to gammon him. It'll be 16-3 Crawford. What are the odds of that? 1%? Let's take a look. This is unbelievable. Mochi Alexey has just made life so hard for Mochi. Mochi had a gammon going here. And actually, if he keeps rolling 2-1, he could get gammon himself. It's not very likely. But let's take a look at Crawford, which is 1 away, 14 away. And the odds are 1.47%, 1.5% for Mochi to win this match, assuming he loses. Now, he's looking at doubling here, and it probably is a double and a take, actually. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that and see. I think this might have been a double. Let's take a look. And it probably was a take, because at this score, you know, actually, XG says he's too good to double. So he's too good to redouble. There is some slight probability. That's so funny. And it is a pass for Mochi. So this is definitely worth a double. He's not doubling. I don't know why. This is a clear double at this point. And he's giving him an opportunity to, you know, roll double 6s a bunch of times. Why bother to do that? Mochi's ready. You know, this is a double. Well, I don't know why Alexey's not doubling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it, but it's not going to matter. I mean, it's not a huge blunder. Yeah, I mean, it's a clear pass at this point, so it's over. 16-3. This is really, truly an amazing match. Now, of course, that means it's just not really the final, because Mochi, if he loses this match, they get a rematch. Well, these guys are rolling doubles with a band in here. 6-3 for Alexey. So he's going to play the 3 down and the 6 out. And, you know, he's got a pretty good reason for doing that. He's got a nice broken 5-point prime there. What is that, a 6? 2. So Mochi hits and buttons up, again making a point in hitting, can't argue with that. 6-4. What does he roll? Is that a 6-5? Oh, 6-4. Alright, now I lost it. All right, he's got a 2-4. I've caught up. Does he want to hit? Does he want to just block the bar? Blocking the bar is pretty powerful. Hitting is powerful too. Get 2 men on the bar. He needs a 1. And he's wide open. And he makes that to play. And 6-3 stays out. It's not Alexey's time anymore. All right, 3-1 for Mochi. He can't cover. But he could play the 3 and block to make the bar and then just safety up in the midpoint. Or he could bring a checker down. Now's the time when you want to bring checkers into the zone to attack. So I think he's making the right play. 13-9. Alexey's staying out. And double 5s. So he's going to make the 4-point, no question. And prepare to come in with more. 5-6, so he's able to get out. How does he want to use that 6? Does he use the 6 to get out? Or does he use the 6 to cover? He uses the 6 to cover, and he plays the 5 down. I don't know if I would do that. I'd rather get the 6 out. Let him hit on the 1. You know, make the 6-point prime. Or prepare to make the 6-point prime next time. Yeah, he's rethinking it. I mean, that 6 looks really powerful. Well, what do you do for the 5? Wait a minute. Is this how we started? Yeah, so come out with a 6. Oh, he's going to do it. messed up. Put in the wrong play. All right, he's got a 4-2. So Mochi needs a 6 to get out, or a 1-5. And so, you know, he kind of put himself in this situation. Well, let's see here. He's got a 4-2 to play. Let's see if he made the right play there. Yeah, 5-3, 5-1 is right. Mochi cannot roll that 5. You know, it's so interesting, and Alexey has a chance to get back into this game now. If Mochi can't roll that 6, I'm sorry, 6. So now 1-4. What is better for him? Probably to creep up. You know, who cares? 5s or 6s? Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure it was right there. 6-1. Oh, yeah, make the 4 point. No, make the 4. Really? I don't know. What did he roll? 5-2. Oh, he didn't roll the 6. So this is 6-3. So come down with a 6. You want to put pressure on him and play the 3 up. So if he rolls double 6s, 1, 2, 3, he leaves you a shot. I think 18-15. Well, let's put this in and see. So uncomfortable for Mochi. He's just not been able to get anything going on. Let's see what the right play is here with this 6-3. So he brings them both out. It turns out that 18-16, 19-16, 18-12 actually is right. Very interesting. So you want to protect against him running with that 6 because you're behind. Beautiful roll. Blocks the 6s. Oh my gosh, that is lovely. Lovely for Alexey. Alexey is now a favorite to win this game. How about that? I mean, he's a huge favorite to win this game. We rolled a 3-2. Mochi cannot roll that 1 all this time. And now he's got the prime. He's got the prime. So he can attack with impunity. Yeah, and he very cleverly, smartly leaves that 1. So he's going to expand up. He rolls the 6. He could slot the 2 point with the 4. I mean, of course, no, I'm sorry. Bring that check around. No kidding. Mochi finally rolls a 1 where it won't do him any good. This is really an amazing turn of events in this game. Unbelievable. Mochi getting hit with a 6-1. This game is lost. It looks like this match could be over. Mochi's going to need a miracle to pull this match out. You know, he's a huge underdog now in this game, which is the match. He loses this, and it's all over. Let's take a look at what the right play is with this double 5s here. Is it right to... yeah, it's got to be right. I mean, you want to make a 5-point board. 12-2. 8-3, 7-2. So really, moving it from the 12 point would have been better. But you know, the probability of winning this game is now 90%. And there's a 5-4. So yeah, bring those two in. There you go. Don't leave a shot. On the other hand, I don't like all those builders stacked up. He's preparing to bear off. And he rolled a 1-6. Mochi's back in the game. Oh my gosh, if he left a checker out there and he would have hit him with a 4. Mochi has a reasonable chance to win this game now. He rolled that 1-6. He's got a 5-4. He's coming around. He's going to be bearing off checkers. This is amazing. He's back. Mochi is back. And now Alexey rolls a 3-1. Oh, this is so amazing. Mochi takes the checker off. And what is the probability of winning now for... this is really something. This is a pretty close game. And 3-1, Alexey is rolling like Mochi was. He's got 9 checkers. Mochi is 12. But Mochi's going to be taking him off each time. And so Mochi's off in 5 rolls. And where's the double? Oh, he can. It's Crawford. And double 1s for Mochi's coming back. This was like completely lost, and he made it. Double 5s was misplayed by Alexey, and that cost him a lot. It's really tough. Alexey needs to at least get 2 checkers off this time. He does. 6-3, double 5s. Unless Mochi rolls double 2s or better, we'll win the match. And he rolls double 5s. Mochi does not leave it to chance. But, look at the expression on his face. He is just marking things down, and that is it. I mean, he is a master at the poker face. Really fantastic. All right, so we've got now 16-4. And it's post-Crawford. So let's see what the match equity table says for 13 away, 1 away, post-Crawford. So 13 away, 1 away, post-Crawford. It's 2.54% for Mochi. Oof. No, wait, it's 13 away. Sorry. Yeah, 2.54%. Unbelievable. All right, here we are. All right, we've got a pretty standard looking game here. Nice holding game. Mochi obviously turns the cube. Surprised he waited this long to do it. He's looking to blitz and win a gammon. 6-1, that's going to go a long way towards doing that. Double 1s for Alexey. Now that's a roll. Play the prime versus prime here. He's got actually a little bit more time to put some slightly, probably pretty even. Double 2s for Mochi. He's got the back of the 5-point prime slotted. I like leaving this. I don't know. I like the idea of bringing 2 up because, look, he got stuck last time. Mochi's building the prime. He's building the 6-point prime. I don't know. If he hits, I don't think that could be right. Let me put this in XG, because if Alexey hits with a 1, there's a lot of things that are going to cause Mochi to break. What if he rolls a 2-5 or a 2-6 or a 3-5? Any of those, or so many rolls. Double 4s would be horrendous. All right, so yeah, I don't think there's any question that is the right play. Mochi makes that. Now we got a 6-3 for Alexey. He can't get those back checkers out. And I think it's right to actually bring 2 men down. I don't think that's right. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on him. 3-1, he's going to make that anyway. Now, Mochi doesn't even think. He just does it. Alexey wants that 1, and he gets it. He rolls the 1. Critical to hit. And this has got to be right. And so this is going to be really tough for Mochi. It's a situation he didn't want to be in. He rolls that 4-3. He's got to break. Definitely come in on the 4 as his clear 9-6. And coming in on the 4-point. Boy, what a turn of events. Mochi, nothing's easy for Mochi this match. Although last game he was able to pull it out. But where he needed to at Crawford. Now, Crawford, for beginners, that's a fellow named John Crawford who invented this rule in backgammon in the 60s or 70s, 70s, I think, where, in a match play, if one player is leading and they're 1 point away from victory, the other player can still turn the cube. Like, well, that's not really fair, at least the first time. It's a disadvantage to the person in the lead, and an unfair disadvantage. So John Crawford came up with a rule that said, look, the first time the winner is 1 point away from winning, there's no doubling for that game only. And that's called the Crawford rule. So, but after that, the player who's behind can double. So here, Mochi was behind 16-3. First time that Alexey was 1 point away from winning. So for that next game, Mochi could not double. And Alexey would have no reason to double. He only needs 1 point to win. So when Mochi won the game, it was 16-4. He didn't win a gammon. And now that the game was over, Mochi, it's in his best interest to turn the cube as soon as possible. And now, which he's done, and so he would like to be able to gammon Alexey. Now, this is a classic prime versus prime. It's the first player who can roll a 6, basically. Although in Alexey's case, a 2-4 or 2-5 would be just as good. And let's see if he can do it. And he rolls double 2s, which is pretty good. He'll take it. The question is, what do you break? And it, you know, here, strangely enough, it might be correct to play 3-1. I mean, the 4-2, because, well, this is a really interesting position. Let's face it. This is fat. This is what makes backgammon so great. I mean, what is the right play here? And anyone with confidence who thinks they know what the right play is would leave me questioning that. So I just don't know. This is really hard to know what the right play is. Well, let's see. He's making the play that I would think is right, but what do I know? I think he made the right play because, you know, if Mochi rolls a 5 or a 5-4, he's got to break from the 6 point. And look what just happened, right? So he could get out with a 5-6, but if he made the other play, he'd be escaping a checker to safety. And look at this double 4s for Alexey! Oh my gosh, this could be it! Alexey's got to make a decision now. Go ahead and make the 4 point. Now you want to make the 4 point. I think. I don't know. He's going to bring the 2 checkers out. So he's going to be in direct range if he rolls a 6. I can't argue with that, really. We'll see. He rolls a 6-5, and so the 6 is forced. He can't play a 5. If he can roll a 6 right here, it's really ball game over. 6-5. Is he going to hit 2? No, he can't hit 2. Sorry, there's still 2 checkers left. All right, Mochi needs a 3-6 or a 4-5 or a 4-6. 4-3 won't do it. He'll come in on the 4 and make the 1 point. He's got a 4 point home point board. He could roll double 5s or something. 6-2 plays the 2 in and the 6 to safety. Yeah, from 8-2, right? 9-7, 8-2. But he's looking at it. He's got 2 choices. Actually, he's got more than 2 choices, but that's the only reasonable choice. And 4-1 Mochi. Oh, and he's breaking 5-4. I'm surprised he didn't play 3-2. Who knows? But a 5-1, well, the 5, clearly you're going to go 7-1. Oh, no, he's going to hit. I don't think you want to hit. I don't think that's the right play. He's giving Mochi a shot here, and he doesn't do it. Mochi rolls a 3, but why would you do that? What if you roll a 5-4 now or something? Oh, my gosh, he rolled a 5-4. So he's got to break from the 6 pointer. He's going to leave 3 shots. I mean, this is amazing. You know, so you only got one way to play this roll. Otherwise, you leave a double shot or a triple shot. So, you know, it's crazy. He's looking at it. I mean, what really? You're going to really leave 2 blots there? Come on. He's taking a picture of this. This seems like, but you know, when I get this confident about what the play is, I have a pretty high probability of being terribly, terribly wrong. So this is great. So we'll find out what the right actual play is in this situation. He's thinking about it. Well, let's see what the XG says about this. I'd be shocked if it's, oh my gosh, it is not the best. Look, see, I'm wrong. 8-4, 7-2. 8-4, 7-2. Leave the double shot is in fact the right play. Unbelievable. It's a .042 blunder to do it the other way. To make this is great. That's what I love about this game. Who knew? So 3-1. He can play safe. So what do you do with a 3-1? Let's see what the right play is here. I mean, I would play safe, but maybe XG wants to leave the shot. I mean, let's see what the right play was there. We're going to put it into XG and we're going to see. Boy, this game is really exciting. So many turns and twists, and there's more to come. And he plays safely with a 6-5. Actually, you know, in that play, 7-6, 7-4 was just as good as 5-4, 5-2. In fact, it's a little better. So breaking from the... but this is, you know, he's in a very good situation here because not a lot of things leave a shot. More than one shot. He's going to leave the shot, and then it's over. Mochi has to hit this. He's got a 1/3 chance. Mochi has a 1/3 chance. Can he do it? It's not a guarantee of a game. Oh, and he rolls the 3-1. He's able to do it. He comes in. He hits with the 3. Boy, the home boards are very similar. Comes in with a 5. Question is, do you hit with a 1? He says no. Because, you know, Alexey is ahead in the race if he can get by. So 4-2 for Mochi. He's going to want to come out with a back checker and, you know, any kind of 6 except for 6-4 and 6-6 is going to have a shot. 5-3. The 5 is forced. You know, he doesn't have to, but he just automatically, Alexey doesn't even think. I would have thought before doing that, but that's okay. And Mochi can't hit. It looks like this could be the ball game. Oh my gosh! So he's going to play probably the 6-3 to come into his bar point because Alexey could roll double 1s or 2-1 and leave Mochi another shot or double 2s. He rolls a 5-1, skips over him. There's the 1. This is, unless Mochi can really pull this out, this match is over. And he plays a 5 and he bring a checker in to his 6 point. And Alexey is really on his way. 5-1. Well, this is the opportunity to take off 2 checkers there, but Mochi's going to have the same difficulty shortly. Mochi's able to bring him in with a 5. What's he going to do for the 2? He's clearly going to bring that checker in. But he's taking every moment. This is the great thing about Mochi. He just examines everything. And he's saying, hey, let me bring that checker over to the 4. I'm going to need those doubles. And that might be right. And this way, if he rolls a 5, there's no wastage. I love this about Mochi. You know, at a play anybody else would just automatically do, he thinks about it and ends up avoiding probably a pretty significant blunder right there. Fantastic. Such a joy to watch this guy play. And there's a 5-6, and it worked. It worked for him because he's now cleared off the 6 point. There's a little bit of wastage there, but 2-1. So it's not rolling a 3-1. I can't see how many checkers. It looks like he's got 6 off. I can't tell. 3-2 for Mochi. He's off. Mochi's 12 checkers left. Double 5s, and that's it. The match is over. We're going to see a handshake right here. No, we're not, because he can roll 3 sets of doubles. Excuse me. If he doesn't roll it, now we'll see the handshake. Unbelievable match. Askurava beats Mochizuki 17-4. A total thrashing of Mochi that you just never see. And it's not because Mochi didn't play well. And it's not also because Alexey was lucky. These are 2 champions. They both did a fantastic job. They're now going to take a break, and we're going to see what's going to be happening in the next iteration of this tournament. There's another match coming up. I assume these gentlemen are going to be taking a break. I'm going to end this video for now, and we'll restart the streaming when we come back for match 2. This is Larry Shiller, voice of Backgammon, broadcasting the Sochi tournament live. I'm remote in the USA while watching this tournament. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back shortly with the rematch. Stay tuned.